Dartmouth pride. Let us welcome to the field our Dartmouth football team.
Again, just a reminder, we have a set of keys that have been found and turned in up here in the press box. If you can identify them, they're yours. Ladies and gentlemen, directing your attention to the southeast corner of the stadium. Now entering the field, one of the many prides of Dartmouth, the Dartmouth High School Marching Band, Majorettes, Color Guard, and Cheerleaders. performance under the direction of Ian Flint and Thomas Unks. Assisted by Mike Raynham and Brandon Cartier. Color guard, flags and rifles supervised by Addison Caterli. Assisted by Anthony Cabral and Samantha Hussey. Cheerleader supervised by Rebecca Braga. Band led by drum major Arrow Gove. Dartmouth High School is proud to present the Dartmouth High School Marching Band. The band will perform the following music for pregame. Music from the movie Robin Hood, Fight, Our Boys Will Shine, and Glory to Dartmouth. Good evening and welcome to Dartmouth Memorial Stadium for what is a bittersweet night as we recognize our cheerleader, football student athletes, and marching band who are participating in their last home regular football game of their interscholastic careers. These students have worked extremely hard during their 4-year careers, and we commend them for their accomplishments both on the field and in the classroom.
Why don't we do this? Give it to them, and then they go.
First, we'll introduce our graduating cheerleaders. Emma DuPont, escorted in memory by her dad Timothy, and her parents, Sarah and Brennan.
Just the seniors. Just our kids. Yeah, yeah.
No, all of them.
Yeah, no, they're okay. They're okay. You have some time. Oh, no, I can.
Madison Estrella, accompanied by her parents, Tanya and John.
As they walk, I'm going to take a picture on the 50.
Captain Kaylee Werner, accompanied by her parents, Jody and Troy. We will now introduce each graduating football student athlete in numerical order, accompanied by their parents. Number 2, Captain Louis Freitas, accompanied by his parents, Erica and Louis. Number 3, Jalen Adams, accompanied by his parents, Melanie and Jim.
Maybe Jenny should do this.
Number 4, Aiden Griffin, accompanied by his parents, Kim and James. Number 5, Maddox Dupree, accompanied by his parents, Devin and Brian.
Do one of you want to go down with Corey? And I'm going to present them.
Number 9, Madden Olia, accompanied by his parents, Erin and Ryan.
Oh, no son.
Because I said, it all starts at the top.
Number 11, Captain Donovan Burgo, accompanied by his parents,
Play them again.
Christy and Lance.
All those kids were disciplined.
So she agreed with you. Good. No, that's all right.
I don't really care. I'm almost 70 years old. Like I gotta get it. So you're looking.
Number 14, Arjani Maladona, accompanied by his parents, Abby and Irwin.
We gotta keep talking about the game.
Yeah, I asked them about that. I said a lot of times we're going to start jumping around.
Number 38, Logan Arujo, accompanied by his parents, Jennifer and Robin.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, sometimes I let Gene.
Number 51, Captain Josh Carrero, accompanied by his parents, Jade and Josh.
This we could have up here. When I go backwards,
Is that?
and Ferrero.
Number 52, Captain Jason Martin, accompanied by his parents, Colleen and Mike. Number 54, Michael Figueredo, accompanied by his parents, Anna and Joseph. Number 58, Jacob Canul, accompanied by his parents, Maria and Peter. Number 59, Jordan DaCosta, accompanied by his parents, Sarah and Keith. Number 61, Kevin Science, accompanied by his mother, Jezebel. And number 72, James Silva, accompanied by his parents, Lizette and John. And now our senior band members in color guard, Jacob Betancourt, escorted by Russ and Sue Benoit. Jacob Benoit. Annabelle Johnson, accompanied by Lauren Johnson. Elliot Dion, accompanied by Amy and Edward Dion. Denise Andreas Malara Costello, accompanied by Denise Malara and Erica Costello. Nicholas Moniz, accompanied by Laurie Moniz. Shubhan Swami, accompanied by Anu Ambala Swami. Abigail Mora, accompanied by Sarah and Denny Mora. Jeffrey Fang, accompanied by Pingying Fang and Fei Li. Orlando William Riley III, accompanied by Catilia Riley and Orlando Riley. Erica Jaden Esplata, accompanied by Rosemarie and Cristiano Esplata. Christian Lenning, accompanied by Brian and Maria Lenning. Cody Dumas, accompanied by Matt and Amy Dumas. Tyler Jalen Francois, accompanied by Sheila Bowden. Cal Higgins, accompanied by Will Higgins and Tracy Higgins. Jack Novo, accompanied by George Novo and Andrea Novo.
So why did they need you to go get this? I thought you didn't have a phone game.
Jesse Walker, accompanied by Lonnie Souza, Jesse Walker, and Jada Walker. Sophia Medeiros, accompanied by Carla and Eduardo Medeiros.
So what happened to the pregame?
We'll just go right into it.
Thomas Jansen, accompanied by Jennifer and Tom Jansen.
What's Jeff's last name? Jeff. Oh, Miller. This bottom. Jeff Miller.
Janessa Almada, accompanied by Christine Almada. And Gray Tappan, accompanied by Erica Silva.
They win tonight, they'll be 7-0, right? So then what, they still have one more, or does it go right into the playoffs?
It goes at New Bedford,
And then playoffs.
then Glen.
Thank you for the time, effort, commitment, and pride you've placed into your athletic and band careers, and we wish you the best of luck with all future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, how about a nice round of applause for all our graduating seniors and their parents.
I did say something about the Pete calendar.
Yes?
We're good. Yeah, it's the right way. Wait till they come. Wait, Barbara, wait till they come. Oh my God, I forgot you can't run.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dartmouth would like to welcome you to tonight's senior night of our game between your Dartmouth High School Indians and the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. We remind you that one of the goals of interscholastic athletics is learning lifetime values outside the classroom. We hope you will enjoy the game and will support all the participants in a positive sportsmanlike manner. In case of an emergency, please proceed to the nearest exit from the stadium. Exits are clearly marked and are located on the south and west side of the stadium. Staff members will assist you to the nearest exit in case of an emergency. Now let's meet the starting lineups for our visitors from Bridgewater Raynham. Number 2, junior Owen King. Number 3, junior William Porter. Number 4, running back junior Charles Swenson. Number 6, Junior, Khalib Tripp. Number 22, senior, Lamar Lee. Number 33, junior, Aiden Nassis. Number 12, number 35, senior, captain, Amin Abesi. Number 52, junior, Vincent Tavaz. Number 60, sophomore, Decan Fay. Number 77, junior, Matt Holden. Number 78, senior, captain, Joseph Fazzetti. And number 81, sophomore, Dylan Reed. The head coach of the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans, Lou Pacheco. Yeah, that's fine. And now here's the starting lineups for your Dartmouth Indians. At center, number 67, junior Lucas Botello. At right guard, captain, senior, number 51, Josh Carrero. At left guard, number 54, senior, Mick Figueredo. At right tackle, senior, captain, number 52, Jason Martin. At left tackle, number 56, junior, Aiden Carrero. At wide receiver, number 3, senior, Jalen Adams. At wide receiver, number 11, captain, senior, Donovan Burgo. At wide receiver, junior, number 13, Marcus Andrews. At wide receiver, number 2, captain, senior, Louis Freitas. At running back, number 21, junior, Ray Gramlich. And at quarterback, number 12, junior, Jackson Hart. And the coach of your Dartmouth Indians, Rick White. With Dartmouth pride, led by Captain Josh Carrero, Jason Martin, Donovan Burgo, and Louis Freitas, let's welcome to the field our Dartmouth Indians. Your officials for tonight's game, your referee, Robert Leon. Your line judge, Zach Latati. The head linesman, Lou Gaglian. The back judge, Bobby Peely. The umpire, David Roth. And up here in the booth, the clock operator, Michael Boyle.
is all you guys. All for you guys right now.
Would like to let you know that last Saturday up in Carlisle, Massachusetts, our Dartmouth High School cheerleaders were in a competition at Concord Carlisle High School, and they came in first place. So congratulations, ladies.
He's after me. Good luck.
And we wish them well. They're in competition again this Sunday at Norton High School.
Bat down.
The captains at midfield for Dartmouth: Josh Carrero, Jason Martin, Donovan Burgo, and Louis Freitas. For Bridgewater, Raynham, Delcan Byrne, Amin Abbasi, and Joseph Fratazzi.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this telecast of Dartmouth High School football. Tonight, the Indians will take on Bridgewater Raynham. Always great to have Paul Santos alongside. And as we get ready to set, we have some audio troubles.
Yes, there is. I'll give him the other one.
Does this work?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem by our own Dartmouth High School marching band under the direction of Mr. Ian Flint.
Very well done by the Dartmouth High School band. We want to apologize at the beginning of this telecast that we had a little audio problem up here in the press box. I'm Jim Thompson. He's Paul Santos, and welcome to this telecast of Indian football tonight. The Trojans of Bridgewater, Raynham in town. And Paul, you look at the season at the beginning of the season and you go, oh my, Bridgewater, Raynham, yikes, we don't want to play them. Every year they give us a hard time and usually leave the stadium with a win. This year, totally different for them.
Absolutely. You look at it in the calendar, you circle it, you say to yourself, this is going to be a real tough game, a really challenging game. But this year, the opposite is true. Dartmouth coming in at 6-0, reeling off 6 wins in a row, the first time they've had a start like that since 2016, the last time they went to the Super Bowl, by the way. And meanwhile, Bridgewater Raynham with only 1 win on the season, 1-5 in the contest. And by the way, decimated by injury, starting with a quarterback, Declan Byrne with a broken leg.
Well, not good for Bridgewater Raynham. They've had their issues. Dartmouth, in the meantime, injuries have not been a problem, and they are a scoring machine, averaging 36 points a ball game.
Absolutely. They have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of players that can consider themselves touchdown makers. Jackson Hart, the quarterback, has rushed for 6 touchdowns. He has 8 touchdown passes to his credit. Marcus Andrews with 7 rushing touchdowns. And leading the team, number 21, the junior, Ray Gramblick, with 9 rushing touchdowns. A lot of weapons that the Indians have offensively this year.
And speaking of good fortune, the weather has turned out just beautiful here in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Raining this afternoon, about a half hour before game time, Paul. Clouds went away. We got a beautiful night. Band playing, senior night. Couldn't have a better setting.
Is it me or is it a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be? I mean, it's in the 60s. It feels like, early September day.
It is. It's a beautiful night. And this is Freitas on the opening kickoff. And Louis here to the near side. He's got wheels. He's got room. He cuts it back. Still on his feet. Down inside Bridgewater Raynham territory. They're going to mark him down just short of the 45-yard line. A 52-yard return to start the game for the Indians. And you folks have never seen Dartmouth play this season. They're loaded with speed, Paul. That was a good example on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that in the open, right? Speed is one of their big assets this year. A lot of the players, especially the skill position players, they can really use the jets, the athleticism, the speed, and they've really put a hurting on their opponents by using that. And right there on special teams, the senior, Louis Freitas, that 52-yard return. Dartmouth's high-powered offense starts in enemy territory.
And it all starts with this man right here, Jackson Hart. And here's Gremlick. Ray's got big yards on the first carry of the game and has got himself a first down.
Well, this is a good example. Hart handing off to Ray Gramblick. He's done a majority of the ball carrying to the interior, grinding it out for a first down on the very first play from scrimmage. That's a gain of 11, and the Indians in business right now on their first play from scrimmage.
As Paul said in the opener, Gremlick, one of the area's leading scorers, 9 touchdowns on the season. Hart's not too far behind him. He's rushed for 6 and thrown for 8. Now he's throwing again, and he's being rushed, and down he goes. Back at the 47-yard line. And that was Avarsi getting in there, Paul, with the pressure, as Hart didn't have much time to unload that.
Well, last week we saw him throw an unbelievable pass down the sideline, and right there he's getting ready to unleash a long pass, but good penetration there by the Bridgewater Raynham defense, and getting in, as we said, to make that stop was one of their co-captains, the senior Amin Abbasi, and he threw the Dartmouth Indian quarterback for quite a loss. About a 12-yard loss.
Second and an Uber ride to the Fairhaven Bridge here for the Indians. 3 wides to their near side, 1 to the top of your screen. Just underway here from the stadium. Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. High snap. Hart lowers his head and gets it down to the 45 for perhaps a yard gain. They're making the stop was Abbasi once again.
Well, this is a play that's had success so far on the season because you have Andrews with such speed around the side. The play fake to the outside, people are focusing on him, and Hart has been able to find that room up the middle, but not that time, as Bridgewater Raynham's defense read it well. Interesting to see what they call here on the 3rd and 20. Deep into the playbook they could go.
Very deep, I may add. Here's Hart, rolls to the near side. Jackson throws. And they say he can catch it or not along the near sideline. They say it's a catch.
It is a catch.
And that's going to be just shy of the first down marker they were looking for. Let's look on a fantastic grab here.
Well, watch Jackson Hart, the quarterback, rolling out, throwing on the run. And look at that diving catch by Donovan Burgo, just keeping his feet in bounds as he catches the ball, slides into out-of-bounds territory, but managed to keep his feet in. And it's 4th and 1.
We were blocked out by the Indian bench down there, but what a grab by Burgo. 4th down and 1 now for Hart and the Indians. This their opening drive. This is Gremlick. He's got a first down and more. Gremlick's looking for pay dirt, but they're going to get him just from behind by the shoe tops. But it will be an Indian first down.
All they needed was 1 yard. They ended up with about 40 as Gremlick breaks it up the middle. And once he got past that initial cluster of linebackers, he went all the way down there and ended up getting stopped by Owen King.
King showed great speed there as he chased from behind. 1st and goal now for the Indians. Here's Gremlick looking for room, breaks the first tackle, and he's down and in for his 10th touchdown of the season. Goes Ray Gremlick. Paul all set up from the opening 50-plus kickoff return. Good field position. Didn't take long to get in the end zone as we look on.
How disheartening that must be for Bridgewater Raynham, because they did have that one play where they threw quarterback Hart for that 15-yard minus play where he got sacked way back in offensive territory, but then that long pass wiped that out. Next thing you know, Gremlick's in the end zone for touchdown number 10 of the season.
Here's Atomic Louis Freitas.
And the kick is good.
He knocks it through, and the clock stopped here at the stadium with 8 minutes and 54 seconds to go. The Indians off to a quick lead. This is how they played. If you haven't seen them play this year, they can have 3rd and 20 and pick up 19 via the pass, or they can run a jet sweep. They have so many things with this new offense that was installed this year, Paul. That's been really exciting to watch.
Yeah, we saw it right here. Not only did you have that response to the sack, right? There was a sack minus 15, right? Next thing you know, there's a long pass by Hart all the way down to Donovan Burgo. Makes a great catch, gain of 24, turns it into a 4th and 1. And with Dartmouth only needing 1 yard, Gremlick ends up with 40. And then ends up finishing off the drive with that 5-yard touchdown run. And we mentioned before, special teams, the return of Louis Freitas to start the game. The 52-yard return, which started the drive at the Bridgewater Raynham 46. What great field position the Indians had, and they made Bridgewater Raynham pay. So off to the races go the Indians, like many expected. The Indians undefeated at 6-0. We haven't seen a team get off to this kind of start since 2016, and what a year that turned out to be. Can't believe it was that long ago, Jim.
I know. What a wonderful season it was, and this has been equally as nice. This is an important game for the Indians because no matter what Bridgewater Raynham's record is, they're a Division II school. The Indians play out of Division III. Here's Bridgewater Raynham returning the kick, and look out, this is Richner. Rich has got one man to beat. That's Louis Freitas, and he gets him down around the 30-yard line.
Brought down by Louis Freitas. Nice return to the 32-yard line of the Indians.
Well, Dartmouth's special teams unit did it to Bridgewater Raynham, and now Bridgewater Raynham returns the favor with a long return on the opening kickoff. I tell you, it almost looked like he was going to be gone, but Louis Freitas with the touchdown-saving tackle. Bridgewater Raynham has tremendous field position. They start at the Dartmouth 35, even closer to the end zone than the Indians started.
And they're going to start with a new quarterback.
Khalib Tripp at quarterback.
It's Khalib Tripp. They told us it was Owen King, but we'll go with Tripp. He gets the nod here.
1st and 10 for Bridgewater Raynham.
He turns around, hands it off. And it's a solid gain on first down. That was Abassi. The big fellows had a good defensive game thus far early. And there with a good run, Paul.
Yeah, nice job up the middle by Amin Abassi. You're going to hear that name quite a bit. He's a senior. He was listed as a tight end, but he's been used as a running back as well. He's also a defensive end. He's a big guy and one of the more important players on this Bridgewater Raynham team. As we mentioned, he's the co-captain. But how about the quarterback breaking his leg, Declan Berm? And now you got somebody in there right now. What a difficult situation to be in. And Caleb Tripp, he's listed as a fullback, and he's in there playing quarterback.
Looks like the tight end. This has a little movement as he gets to the ball, and here's a carry and a short yardage loss by the young quarterback.
On the carry, met by a host of Indians.
So what's it going to be like for Caleb Tripp? All of a sudden you go to practice on Monday and they go, well, you're usually a running back, defensive back. How do you feel about playing quarterback?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And, you know, you mentioned before the game, I'm not sure the coach really knew until earlier today. He didn't want to tell us, right? But there was some talk of Owen King maybe being the quarterback. And then the next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, it could be Brown. Nope, it turns out to be Caleb Tripp, at least for now.
Here's Tripp. Tripp's got running room, and he's got himself a first down, tackling the Indian secondary.
Brought down on the play.
Now, if you're used to being a running back and now you're quarterback, you're probably going to be keeping the ball a lot. And you look like a running back on that one, and he got tripped up at the 15-yard line. So Bridgewater Raynham is kind of moving down the field. Of course, they started deep in enemy territory, but at least for the time being, they're moving the ball, and they got a first down.
So Abassi is the lone runner, and he's a big fella. And he takes the hand off. He's got room up the middle, and he's got himself a big gain, close out to the first down. Actually, they're going to give him a gain of 11, Paul, and a first down.
Brought down by Gramlich. Brings the ball down.
Nice job getting the ball up the middle as
Don
Don Natsis carrying the ball there for Bridgewater Raynham, and back-to-back first down runs by Bridgewater Raynham. So they're grinding it out against this Dartmouth defense, what you would expect them to do with all the injuries and everything else, but back-to-back first downs on running plays.
Thank you for that correction as well. And the quarterback keeper, and he's pushing the pile, and he's pushed himself in for a touchdown.
Touchdown run.
Well, Caleb Tripp getting called on to be the quarterback tonight, has been keeping the ball quite a bit. And this time he carried the ball right up the middle, following the interior of his offensive line. And the teams have traded 5-yard touchdown runs here in the early going.
To attempt the extra point for Bridgewater Raynham.
So here's the point after touchdown attempt. Mason Berry rides it up, and it is good as the referees look at one another. And
with 6:07
the clock stopped here with just over 6 minutes to play, Paul. Special teams been a major part of this first 6 minutes.
Yeah, you got to be impressed with both teams, the way the special teams got their offenses in terrific enemy territory to start. Bridgewater Raynham actually started closer to the enemy end zone than Dartmouth did. Dartmouth started at the enemy 46. Bridgewater Raynham started at the Dartmouth 35. And riding the coattails of Amin Abbasi, the running back, the senior, along with Don Natsis, and the gentleman who got called upon to be the quarterback, Caleb Tripp. They're in the end zone with a 5-yard touchdown run. And with the extra points, we have a 7-7 game. I gotta tell you, Jim, I'm not surprised that Dartmouth went down and scored quickly, but I am surprised that Bridgewater Raynham did, because Dartmouth defense has been terrific. They've shut people out. They've held people to under 20 points a game. And so I didn't expect Bridgewater Raynham to march down the field like that. Even though they started so far into Dartmouth territory, they did a very effective job.
I think one weakness the Indians may have defensively is they're not very big up front. And when they face big running backs, we've seen it in a couple of earlier games. These kids from Bridgewater Raynham, pretty big in offensive backfield. They're like fullbacks. And you saw it on that first drive. Tough guys. Here's a short kick. And let's see if Bridgewater Raynham recovered. They're claiming they have the football.
Onside.
And they do.
And recovered by Bridgewater.
Well, an interesting call by head coach Lou Pacheco of Bridgewater Raynham. He knows he's the underdog. He knows that the Indians come in here heavily favored. They've just come down the field to tie the game after the big return on the kickoff. So he figures, you know what? I'm going to go for the jugular here and try to make something happen. I mean, that's a gutsy call right there. It seems good because it worked, but I'm not so sure about it. But it worked out for Bridgewater Raynham, and they get the ball back.
So they have the football just outside the Indian 40.
Bridgewater Raynham on the Indian 42-yard
Caleb Tripp in there at the quarterback spot. And we have a
penalty marker on the play.
Flag thrown before the play got off. And we're going to have a timeout charged.
Timeout, Dartmouth.
To the Indians.
Isn't that one of those calls, Jim, that if it works, you look brilliant, but if it doesn't work, you really look bad? Because let's say Dartmouth recovered that. Now you've just handed Dartmouth the ball at midfield, and people would be going, what are you doing? But because it worked, now it looks like, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Tom Quinn's got great hands. And, I used to be on the punt return team.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard this before.
As a coach at UMass Dartmouth, I didn't do much. But one of my jobs was, in practice, was to throw the ball up to the returners and let it hit and either scream out poison to stay away from it or learn how to catch the ball. It's hard because every time it hits the turf, you think it's going to come up and, into your chest and grab it. That ball could go anywhere, and I think that's what happened on that kick. You try to, lean into it to cover it, and if that ball just takes an odd bounce, obviously it's not a round ball, so stuff like that happens. But that's how good a coach I was when they just said, why don't you go over there and throw the ball up in the air. And that time I knew I wasn't respected like I should have been.
Very important job.
Very important job. That's us in there as the running back. And he's going to take the handoff and run right into the interior of that Indian defense. Tommy Quinn in there for the Indians, amongst a few of his friends. Just under 6 minutes to go. We're tied at 6. Bridgewater Raynham 1-5 on the season. The Indians at 6-0, and Dartmouth High is rated 7th in Division 3 poll.
Yeah, that's right. Now you figure, well, they're undefeated. Why aren't they ranked higher? Well, it's all depending on who your opponents are, what their records are. And a lot of the teams that the Indians have played this year, no fault of their own, have been teams that have struggled. And that's the reason why their ranking is number 7, even though they're undefeated.
Second down and 8 here. And this is the quarterback keeper, and he's down to the 35-yard line. It's Caleb Tripp. Gain of a few. Bring up third down.
Caleb Tripp is a junior. He's listed as a fullback and a linebacker, and being called at the last minute to be quarterback after the Clan Bime broke his leg. But he's not the only one. Bridgewater Raynham, we understand, 10 people injured. I mean, how does that happen? All those players out, so a team that has struggled a little bit, and then you add all the injuries to that. So far you have to tip their cap. I mean, it's really very early in this game, but they're doing what they can in the early going here against Dartmouth.
3rd and 4. Trip to the near side. Indians waiting for him. He breaks the first tackle, breaks the second one, and finally gets run down by Donovan Burgo.
Donovan Burgo in on the tackle.
And he's going to be about 1.5 yards to 2 yards short.
Gain of 1 on the play.
And I would assume they would be going for it here, Paul, on 4th down.
Absolutely. I think you have to, and we're going to watch Donovan Burgo made an outstanding catch on offense on the other side of the ball, this time coming down to finish off the running back there, the senior Donovan Burgo. So here we go, 4th and 2.
Owen King at quarterback for Bridgewater Raynham.
Owen King in there now at quarterback. Where's number 2? He's trying to draw the Indians offside. Now they put a man in motion. And they look like they have a wishbone set here. And they finally hiked the football, and
Caleb on the carry.
That was Caleb on the carry, Caleb Tripp, and let's see if he made it or not. It's going to be very close.
Brought down by Burgo.
Looked like the players on the far side were celebrating as if they got the first down, and they do have the first down.
So that time the long count, perhaps trying to get the Indians offside, and they went into the old wishbone look.
It'll be first
We'll take a
10
look.
For
Yeah, that hard count went on for a long time. That's absolutely right, trying to get him to go offside. And the Indians very disciplined, very disciplined. The count went long. They were moving people in the backfield and everything else. But in the end, they got the couple yards they needed. And Bridgewater Raynham continues with this drive after recovering the onside kick.
Trip back in at quarterback.
Trip at quarterback, back at quarterback for Bridgewater Raynham.
And here's Natsis, and Natsis runs into a wall. Tommy Quinn, first guy to get hold of him.
Tom Quinn in on the tackle.
One of the challenges if you're Bridgewater Raynham today, you are basically limited to that power game. And after a while, the Indians kind of know it's coming. And even though the Indians have had a little bit of a challenge with the inside game, maybe they're not that big, but when you know what's coming, you're going to be able to close things up on the inside and force them to run outside. And that time, no gain after the tackle led by Tom Quinn.
Road trip now looking
Second and 10 for Bridgewater
second
Raynham.
down and long. And he's going to kick it once again and going to inch his way down to the 30-yard line, still dragging Indians with him. Tommy Quinn once again on the tackle. We'll mark him right at the 30-yard line. Makes it third down and about 7 to go.
Well, Jim Thompson, the longtime play-by-play announcer here of Dartmouth. When was the last time that you had to really keep an eye on the quarterback changes? Because you never know. Like every time you look out there, it could be the other guy, right?
Right. And the gentleman on the down marker over there went down for 7. Now he's moved it back, so it's actually 3rd and 9. He's going to throw with the left hand, throws it down the middle of the field, and it's batted away nicely back there by the Indians. Marcus Andrews.
Is incomplete, knocked away by Marcus Andrews.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, the quarterback almost threw it like a shot put, but he managed to get it down the field, and I'll tell you, the ball was batted away. It was intended for William Porter, the junior, and dangerous pass, kind of a 50-50 ball they call it now, but the Indians played it well, and it's 4th down and 9.
Well, you know, the Patriots got that guy Parker for the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
He's good at them, but he's not good on the long ones that go in his hand.
Yeah, right. I know.
Not very good at that one. 4th down
that
and
killed
10.
him.
4th and 9 for Bridgewater Raynham.
And it's the quarterback, and he's going to get close to the first down, but not close enough. The Indians hold on 4th down. And they'll take over on downs. He's 2 yards short. We'll look on at the defensive series here by the Indians.
Yeah, did a nice job adjusting Caleb Tripp, the junior, carrying the ball, and he got tripped up from behind. Yeah, a lot of contributors in this Dartmouth Indian defense, and really did a nice job adjusting, and now Dartmouth has their second possession of the game because of the onside kick. Bridgewater Raynham had 2 possessions in a row. So this is only the second possession of the day for Dartmouth's offense.
Jackson Haddock, quarterback for the Indians.
And here's Ray Gremlick, bounces it outside. Still on his feet. He's got the 34-yard line, taken down by the shoe tops there.
Brought down
by Lamar Lee.
Now let's take a look. A hard yardage here by Gramlich, gains 9 that time, and you can see how much easier the yardage is to come by for Dartmouth's offense compared to Bridgewater Raynham, who would just like grind it out a few yards here, a few yards there. And do we have a holding call?
They're marching the ball back.
Josh Guerrero, number 51.
Yeah, I was all excited by that nice 9-yard run, and the whole thing is wiped out just like that.
Yeah, they got one of the interior offensive linemen.
It will be
First and 20 now.
For the Indians. Ball is on their
The Indians have the kind of team that can overcome these
16-yard line.
long yardage situations, so high confidence here, 1st and 20.
Jackson spreads them out, gets rid of it early.
Jackson's pass to
It's Marcus Andrews.
complete.
Andrews is across the 25, reaching for the 30, but he's going to be short of that.
Out to the
Brought down by
He's going to bring up second down and long.
tackle.
Jim talked about the speed of Dartmouth, and you saw it right there, right? Gets the ball to the outside. All of a sudden, Marcus Andrews has a lot of real estate in front of him, and he just turned on the Jets, and Bridgewater Raynham is chasing him, and the Indians got half of it back. From 20 yards to the first down marker, cut right in half. Now it's 10.
Yep. Two wideouts to the top of your screen. One on the slot, the same side, one to the near side. Nice snap. Gremlick has it, and he runs right into a wall and taken down immediately. Ran right into number 44, who we don't have on the sheet. But he made a nice play, did 44.
Yes, he did, number 44. Holding him to a no gain, so it'll be third down and 10. Like running into a brick wall. Bam, right there.
I'm assuming they have so many injuries that he changed his number, perhaps. I don't know whether it's special teams or he's a cap. I don't know, but sometimes this happens when you have this many injuries that, you know, they change a number like that. Hart running for his life, still running, throws and overshoots his man down there at the 36-yard line. And Bridgewater Raynham holds, but there's also a marker on the field.
Late flag being tossed by the officials.
And that looks like a personal foul, roughing the passer on Jackson Hart. That'll give the Indians the possession and a first down. And boy, this 12 minutes went by real fast. That's the end of the first. Got a surprise score here at the stadium, Paul. We're knotted at 7.
Good game so far. Teams exchanging 5-yard touchdown runs. Ray Gramlich with his 10th touchdown of the season. Caleb Tripp, a 5-yard touchdown run for Bridgewater Raynham. The extra points being kicked. Dartmouth extra point, of course, by Louis Freitas. And the 7-7 game. But you take a look at Bridgewater Raynham right there, decimated by injuries. They come in as the heavy underdog. They have an opportunity to get the ball back right here because of a personal foul, which I don't think really affected the throw. I think the play really was separate from, you know, what happened with the personal foul. It looked like the pass was going to be incomplete anyway. So with Dartmouth getting the first down, you've basically thrown away a great opportunity to get the ball back.
We want to welcome you folks along the Dartmouth Cable Network. Always great to have you in your living rooms. Paul and I, we promise not to steal anything, but if you have a hot cup of coffee, we'll gladly sit in and watch the game with you at any time when we're invited. And of course, you people on YouTube Live around the world. Who would have thought of this 5-10 years ago, that Dartmouth High School football in a lot of high schools in this area now just streaming live. It's just the way of the world, and it's wonderful. Grandparents can watch it, alumni from wherever they are. It's just been great to be part of it.
For the Indians on their own 41-yard line.
So Hart has him out, 1st and 10 from his own 41.
Jackson Hart at quarterback for the Indians.
This is Gremlich. Ray's got himself a solid run of 8 before he's tripped up.
Nicholas on the tackle.
That was Matt Nicholas making the shoe-top tackle on Gremlich. Boy, he runs hard, Paul, doesn't he?
Oh, and he just battles and battles and grinds it out. That's what I like about this team. This is an entertaining team to watch. You know what I mean? You can watch high school football and teams can grind it out and things like that. But this team has so many weapons, really good players, speed, talent. And then on top of that, we've seen them grow, right? A lot of these players were sophomores and now juniors. The juniors are now seniors. A lot of experience out there. So it's a team that you really enjoy watching them play.
Second down and short here for the Indians, and Gremlich gets smacked in the backfield was Abbasi. Amin Abbasi, first guy to get in there along with a couple other guys. And that's a 6-yard loss, bringing up third down now and about 7 yards to go.
A little help from Charles Swenson there, too. Nice job there by Bridgewater Raynham. Just when you think that, you know, Dartmouth's going to kind of get control of the game, they're moving the ball more easily. Bridgewater Raynham, they come up with a big play so far. It's very early, but so far they're playing tough against this Indian team, the heavy favorites coming into the game tonight.
So Hart's got 4 wides. They spread the field on this third down and long. Here comes the rush. It's a middle screen. Andrews has it, and he pushes himself forward for a first down. Nice effort there by Marcus Andrews. They pick up the first on the middle screen.
I really like this call, right? You let Hart drop back, and he just drops it right over the middle, and you really only need about 6-7 yards. And with all of the players coming forward, there's real estate open in the middle there. Marcus getting the ball and using that speed to get into first down territory.
I don't necessarily know if I called that right as a screen because he was a wide receiver. They just kind of ran behind the blitzers, but a nice call nonetheless. And here's Gremlick. Gremlick just ripping through defenders. And he's out close to another Indian first down.
Owen King on the tackle.
When we talk about a player who's improved over the last year, Ray Gramlich. I mean, he was already a solid runner last year, but now a whole nother year under his belt. He's stronger. He runs harder than he did last year.
Ball is on the
And the Dartmouth Indians,
38-yard line of Bridgewater,
with a gain of
Raynham.
9, now a
That's
2nd
enough
and
for a
1. A
first
real
down.
great opportunity
It'll
here
be
for
first
Dartmouth
and 10
to
for
do
the
anything.
Indians on the
Because you
Bridgewater
know you can get
Raynham
you can get 1 yard easily on the next play.
Well, they moved the chains. After
Oh,
looking
okay.
at it,
All right.
they moved them and gave the Indians a first down.
Andrews on the carry.
This is Andrews. He shakes off one tackler, gets into the secondary where Wedson gets him
on the
down,
tackle.
but not before he picked up a gain of 6 ball.
Gain of 6
Another
on the
nice
play.
run here by Marcus Andrews. He's got 7 touchdowns on the season here for
Ball is on
Dartmouth,
the
and he is
Bridgewater
a
Raynham 32-yard
junior,
line.
and he's a player that got a lot of snaps last year as a sophomore. And when you see sophomores getting snaps and being effective, you know that the future is bright because you got a couple more years, and now as a junior, even more effective than last year.
Stack the receivers on each side of the field. Hart
Ooh.
on the motion and picks up the ball, but they're going to say his arm went forward and the ball is ruled dead. And this will bring up another down.
It will be third
No
and
tuck rule on that one. Now he tried to throw the ball and it slipped out of his hand, so it's an incomplete pass. And actually it worked out better like that than if it had been a fumble, although he picked it up anyway. But
ball is on
3rd
the
and 4, the Indians, they can
Bridgewater
get this,
Raynham 32-yard line.
I'm sure. We'll see. Of course, they're in enemy territory, so pretty much in 4-down territory all the time in a game like this, I would say, as long as you're inside, say, the 35, 40, something like that.
Well, I scouted Durfee a couple of the games on YouTube just a couple of weeks ago, a recent game. I have a whole different roster of the kids who played in that game. Half of them playing on defense. I'm looking at the roster that I made up for my own personal use, and I'm looking down on every tackle. None of these guys are here.
Yeah, right.
You have to go to the roster you get at the gate, so that's how many injuries they have.
Yeah, I'm surprised because, you know, you do have injuries in high school football. There's no question about it, football at every level. But to have that many, 10 people out injured, and, of course, the quarterback, that's a big one when you lose the quarterback. But I think Bridgewater Raynham had struggled anyway, even before that. But now you add, you know, kind of insult to the injuries, and all of a sudden you end up in this situation here. But so far, these guys that are in there, they're slugging it out, and they're hanging in there, and it's 7-7 right now, early in the second.
Yeah, and the Indians, Paul, average 36 points a ball game. Only giving up about 8. So to be tied just about halfway through the second quarter, it's 7 apiece. If you're Bridgewater Raynham, I think you have to be happy. Common opponents this year, Durfee and New Bedford were played by Bridgewater Raynham. And they beat New Bedford. They lost to New Bedford and beat Durfee. We had Durfee on the call here last week.
And next week, Dartmouth and New Bedford.
Dartmouth is at New Bedford next week. So those are the common opponents. And here's Hart off the fake. Hart's going to keep it. Hart's got speed.
He's still going.
Hart's down close to the 10-yard line. More importantly, he's got himself a first down. Finally taken down by Zach Cardella.
Well, you see him rolling right, and he had that ball ready to be thrown, and then he saw all kinds of room and gets a gain of in excess of 20 yards. So many weapons these Indians have. Here, Bridgewater Raynham, you don't know where to look. You know, you got Hart here, you got Andrews there, Donovan Burgo making great catches, Gramlich pounding his way up the middle, and of course a great job being done on the line, both offensively and defensively by Dartmouth.
So they'll have first and goal from the Bridgewater Raynham 10-yard line. We're tied at 7. Indians looking to take the lead. Here's Gremlick. Gremlick cracks down inside the 5. Well, Owen King took him to the ground there. Good gain on first and goal.
Indians in a great spot right now as we proceed through the second quarter. Bridgewater Raynham hanging in there, but you can just feel the Indians. They just are able to move the ball more effectively. They get bigger chunks of yardage, and it feels much easier to come by.
And with the 2 quarterbacks that Bridgewater Raynham's using, they haven't quarterbacked all season. You can only put in 4 or 5 plays in a game like this. Can't expect the kid to come in and run the whole offensive system. High snap, and Gremlick is wrapped up in the backfield. Declan Fahey, excuse me.
Wow, he just went right in there. It looked like a missed assignment maybe because he just went right through without any kind of interruption at all. And Declan Fahey, only a sophomore, got right in there, and the high snap didn't help, but it didn't seem like that had a lot to do with the pursuit, but didn't help, and now it's a 3rd down and 6.
Hart rolls near side. Hart's still looking. He's got running room. And Hart is going to take it in. Let's see for the touchdown. Nice run by Jackson Hart. He's got a great arm, Paul, and he's got great speed. You're playing in the secondary. You don't know whether to leave your man and chase him or not. And he just froze the defenders here and just snuck his way in there.
And he's rolling out to his left. And he's running, and they almost got him. They almost knocked him down at the 1-yard line, but he knew he was over. He put his arms up, and he got the touchdown. I'm adding up. Was that about a 15-yard run?
I think they marked him at the 13.
13-yard touchdown run for the Dartmouth quarterback.
Here's Louis.
Louis Freitas' kick is good. And with 6 minutes and 16
Well, the clock is stopped here at the stadium. 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the opening half. The Indians take the lead at 14-7. That's set up by a defensive stand, Paul, by the Indians, who have been stalwart all season long.
Yeah, the defense really came to play on that last possession by Bridgewater Raynham. And Bridgewater Raynham, they went down and scored that first time, but a lot of it had to do with the field position because on special teams, they ran the ball all the way back to the Dartmouth 40-yard line, and so when you run the ball back, the Dartmouth 35-yard line, and talk about a short field. But the Indians' defense held after that, and that was a 13-yard touchdown run by quarterback Jackson Hart. That's Jackson Hart's 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
For Bridgewater Raynham.
So Reed and Lee back deep to receive the kickoff from Louis Freitas.
Feels like Dartmouth is kind of getting into the groove now.
Well, I think, they knew after the first series, I'm sure that Bridgewater Raynham only had certain plays they could run with young quarterbacks. Here's Lee.
Lee on the return.
And the Indians do a good job there.
And he comes out to the 19-yard line. 38.
A nice defensive play there by the Indians. We don't know, Paul. He's not on the roster.
Yeah, number 38, not on this version of the roster. So let's see what Bridgewater Raynham can do now. As Jim said, limited on the play calling because of all the injuries that Bridgewater Raynham has suffered this year. And you got a gentleman who's just played quarterback for the first time. Game time decision by the head coach there, Lou Pacheco, and not an easy one.
First and 10 for Bridgewater
Caleb
Raynham.
Tripp in there now at the quarterback spot. And they have to run the same type of play every time. That's Natsis, the big running back. Indians waiting for him. And I think what happens over time, Coach Martin's watching this going, okay, they're limited. So you got this little quarterback spin move. They've used that effectively, using the big runner Natsis, but you haven't seen anything wide. Maybe a couple of quarterback runs, but you haven't really seen anything wide. We've only seen one pass.
And then in that last play, it looked like some difficulty in the exchange, which didn't help.
Right. And you're going to have that from someone who hasn't played much at that spot. And here they run it to the inside again, and the Indians are all over it. Martin, one of the first guys to get him.
Met by a host of Indians led by Josh Martin.
There's Josh Martin getting right in there, penetrating, and then
Josh Carrero as well.
the rest of the Indians piling in. So a difficult spot here now for Bridgewater Raynham with a 3rd and 10. So Logan Arujo is the number 38 that we were looking to figure out before. So mark that on your program, Jim.
I will. We have Jeff Martin sitting next to me. How can I forget?
Bridgewater Raynham on their own 19
Man in motion. Here's the quarterback.
Trip on the carry.
This is Tripp. He's looking for room. He's not going to find any, and they're going to have to punt the football away.
Brought down by Ray Gramlich.
Ray Gremlich on the stop. And now they have to punt the football to the Indians. But that's what I'm saying, Paul. The offensive package they have, probably 5 or 6 plays. That's it. You just can't tell a kid on Monday's practice or Tuesday's practice, hey, the guy broke his leg. You're in. Well, I'm a running back. It's just hard to get the sequence from the plays from the bench to someone who's never played quarterback. Never mind go in there and run plays. So that they're very limited on what they can do, as we've seen.
Right, you compare that to Jackson Hart, who played almost all of last year and has played all of this year, and surrounded by some good quality athletes as well.
Right. High. Short punt. Oh, it hits an Indian, I believe. I could hear the Indian coaches saying, get away, and I think it hit one of the Indian players.
Yeah, it looked like the Dartmouth player was looking in the other direction and didn't see the ball bounce up the way you were describing before. And it looked like it hit him in the leg. Let's take a look.
I think it was Tom Quinn.
Right there, he was looking, and you see him put his arms up. He was looking toward the Bridgewater Raynham side of the ball, and he went, oh, you got to be kidding me. The ball hit me?
It happens at this level.
Oh, it's going to happen. What were you saying about when the ball bounces, it doesn't take a true bounce?
There you have it. Well, Bridgewater Raynham back at it. They're just running basically the same formation every time.
Terrific quarterback for Bridgewater Raynham.
And here's the reverse, something we haven't seen. Indians have it defensed. Nice job, beautiful job there by the Indians. Maddox Dupree.
On the reverse, he gets tackled.
The Indians stretched that out nicely in the home side of the field.
Watch number 5, Dupree, right there. He just had him all lined up. He just wasn't going to let him turn the corner. And that was a great job right there by the senior, making a nice play on defense for Dartmouth. No gain. Looked like there might be a pretty good gain because right after that reverse, you pointed out correctly, we hadn't seen that before, and maybe they could use some of this real estate over here. But along with Dupree and a couple of others, they just going to give him that room that he needed around this near side, and a nice job by the Dartmouth D.
It'll be 2nd down and about 17 to go.
See, Bridgewater Raynham, they're in no hurry here, right? 2:52 to go in the half. You just want to be hanging around as you get into the second half.
And they're going to call a timeout
after they let the clock run down at 2:48.
So, folks at home, if you have a former Dartmouth High School outstanding athlete that you think should be nominated to the school's Hall of Fame, well, we have an avenue for you to do that if you just go onto the Dartmouth High School website, and perhaps the guys in the truck will put it up on the screen for us. You can nominate yourself if you wish, if you think you qualify to be inducted into the Dartmouth High School Sports Hall of Fame. And Mike Shea is running it, and he's doing a great job, and I'm very fortunate that he asked me to be on the committee as well. And we have some great applicants, and we're taking all the applicants we can get. So go on to the Dartmouth High School website or the athletic department, and they can lead you to the online guide for the person you want to nominate. Owen King in there now, and second down and long, and he's just going to keep it. And he looks for room. The Indians do a nice job. Jason Martin chasing from behind. Gain of 4 on the play, but Paul's going to bring up a third down and very long to go for Bridgewater Raynham.
Nice job there by Martin, chasing the Bridgewater Raynham quarterback. And, you know, Owen King has more speed than Tripp does. So he was trying to utilize that around the side, but the Indian defense would have none of it.
Third, we'll call it 12.
3rd and 12 for Bridgewater Raynham. King at quarterback.
Owen King out of the gun. He's got time. Throws it near side. He's got a man, and the Indians are back there as well defending it.
His pass intended for Brown.
Brown was the intended receiver.
Broken up by Louis
Louis
Freitas.
Freitas was in the secondary.
Saw the left-handed quarterback throwing the ball this time. The right-handed quarterback, and boy, for a second, he was backpedaling there. Put his hands up. I thought, wow, he has a shot to catch this ball.
Ball is on
But it's incomplete.
Raynham 44-yard line.
It'll force Bridgewater Raynham to punt. Last time they punted, they kicked it straight in the air, and it hit one of the Indian players. BR recovered. They didn't do much with it. They punted away once again with just over 2 minutes to go. Good snap, no rush. Short kick. You can hear the Indian coaches yelling, fire, get away from it. And that punt yielded about 10 yards, Paul. So the Indians will have it 1st and 10 with 1:50 to go in great field position around their own 45-yard line.
And with the kind of offense that Dartmouth has, plenty of time to move this ball down the field. I mean, 150 with the weapons that they have, with the injuries that Bridgewater Raynham has, the success that Dartmouth has had offensively, 35 points a game. Plenty of time. 150 feels like a long time.
It will be 1st and 10 for the Indians on their own 46-yard line.
So Jackson Hart brings him out. He's got a touchdown run tonight. And here's the jet sweep. This is Marcus Andrews, and Marcus is out for a gain of about 13 before he's wrapped up by Nicholas Ma.
Brings the ball down to the 43-yard line.
Indians in a hurry up with 1:41 to go and counting in the half.
The Indians on the Bridgewater Raynham 43-yard line.
Hart, here comes the rush, and he ditches it here to the near sideline, and I don't see a flag yet, but I didn't see an Indian receiver. Perhaps Louis Freitas was here on the near side, and referees are now discussing it. Freitas was a good 10 to 12 yards away from that.
Jackson Hart was in trouble. Looked like he was going to be sacked.
Oh, look, why is the ball there? It's 2nd down. The ball's in the 42.
So now the Indian coaches are.
It will be 2nd and 10.
I'm baffled myself. I don't know exactly what happened there. There was a flag dropped on the near side.
Bridgewater Raynham 42.
But it's 2nd down and 10. Here's the rush. Hart trying to avoid it. He does.
Hart avoids the rush.
Hart still has it. He's down the sideline.
And he runs down.
And an unbelievable athletic move by Jackson Hart, which we are becoming so used to here in the booth. What an athletic player he is.
Well, it looked for sure like he was going to be sacked, but then the second and third effort breaks the play down the sideline, uses that speed, gains in excess of 20 yards, and all of a sudden, just like that, the Indians are knocking on the door in the red zone.
1:19 to go. Clock in the bottom of your screen, left-hand side. Grumlick stands beside Hart, and before this play gets off, we have a timeout called. You know, they left us a bunch of notes out here, Paul, so when those stuff like this. We're supposed to read some commercials or something, but I must have given it to somebody else. I don't know. You have it by any chance?
No, I do not.
Maybe gave it to the radio guys. We had talked about it this week that we would have less dead air time, and maybe we'll try it next week.
Well, there's a timeout on the field, 1:17 to go. Indian touchdowns today. Ray Gramlich, touchdown number 10 on the season for 5 yards out. And Jackson Hart, a 13-yard touchdown run, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. That accounts for the 2 Dartmouth touchdowns. And Caleb Tripp, a 5-yard touchdown run. And that's why we are at 14-7. Louis Freitas with a couple of extra points.
I found it.
You did find it.
Yeah, it's the 2023 Trojan field hockey team. So if you want me to read the roster down during these
why
timeouts,
is that there?
They told me they were going to give us some filling time, and that's what I see in the packet. But I'm sure the people at home aren't interested. I'm sure they're interested in the field hockey team, but
First and
not
10
when the
for
football
the
teams play.
Indians on the Trojan 19-yard line.
Here's Hart off the
Hart
ball
on the
fake,
carry.
looking to escape, and he didn't quite get out of bounds. The clock will roll.
Peyton on the tackle.
Peyton on the stop. And now the Indians will call timeout.
Dartmouth.
Seems like, I was going to say, Bridgewater Raynham's pass rush seems to be doing a lot better here in the last possession of Dartmouth. Now Jim has got his folder out.
That is Dartmouth's last
He's going
timeout
deep
of the
into the
half.
folder.
Yeah, field hockey. Don't, you folks at home, just stay.
Oh, wait a minute. I see something
Wait a
here.
minute. Way down.
Talking points.
Talking points. Well, here, you go. You read that.
You want me to read this?
Sure.
Read it cold?
Yeah.
All right. The town of Dartmouth recently released a communication survey that everyone in the community is encouraged to complete. It aims to find out how people prefer to receive town news and updates while identifying topics you care most about. To take the survey, visit engageddartmouth.org and click on the survey. Once again, that's engageddartmouth.org. How was that?
That's good. It was buried under the field hockey stuff.
That was
You
cold.
ran that
I will have
very
you
well.
know that I read that
Loss of
cold.
3 on the play. It will be second and 12 for
The way you're leading your life, you'll be cold before you know it.
2-yard line.
3rd and 12. Hart rolls. Hart being chased again, throws on the run, and
Hart's pass
he's
is
got a man complete. And that's Burgo on the reception. Donovan Burgo. That stops the clock now. Let's see. It's stopping at 55 seconds.
That's enough for a first down.
And it's an Indian first down. It sets up
First and
a
10
first
for
and
the
goal
Indians
situation.
On the Bridgewater Raynham 9-yard line.
Second reception of the night here by Donovan
First and
Burgo.
goal.
Jackson Hart, what another fine performance here tonight. He avoids the first guy, looks to throw, smartly throws it away.
Pass is intended
Got
for
3 more
Marcus
downs.
Andrew, is incomplete.
Smart player. Last year might have been different as a sophomore. This year a little bit more seasoned, more confidence. He knows, look, I got 3 more downs. I don't have to throw this and take a chance of it being
It
intercepted.
will be second and
Yeah,
goal
not
for
only
the
his
Indians.
athleticism has improved, his speed has improved, but the decision making on the run, on the fly. We saw him get rid of a ball a little while back when he looked like he was going to be sacked. Same thing here. Knows plenty of chances. It stops the clock. 2nd down and 8. Plenty of time and plenty of downs to work with here for Dartmouth.
Next week they're at New Bedford. Let's see if they can get a score in here now on 2nd and goal. And to get up to the line of scrimmage. And
Timeout, Bridgewater Raynham.
Oh, another talking point?
I have a talking point.
You have a talking point?
I do. Let me see here.
Oh, you're picking your talking point.
I'm picking my talking point. Hold on. Ooh, what do you got, like all night to read these? This is like 3 paragraphs.
I got one I'm going to make up. How's this?
That is
What are
the
you
last
doing
timeout
Wednesday
of the
night at
half
8 o'clock?
For Bridgewater Raynham.
Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, you can put on Channel 95 and see this local comedy variety show.
Oh, we got in trouble last week for that. You might as well just get us in more trouble than what we.
Oh, because
we
no,
Wait,
you know what it
you
is?
throw it in commercials, and it was told to me that you're going to have
Oh.
to start paying for them. But go ahead.
No,
Doc Noons and I were going to go to Faze and watch this. Right? When is it? Wednesday night?
Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, Channel 95, the Paul Santos Live Comedy Variety Show, of which Jim Thompson has been on it at least twice.
Right, well, once I could remember. I was at Faze before I went to the second one.
But anyway, hey, it's a lot of fun. We highlight the talented, interesting, and entertaining in the area. Check it out if you can. We have a lot of fun with that. And, of course, a lot of other stuff going on here. Channel 9, 18, 95. And, of course, Dartmouth Community Media on the Internet. On YouTube, you can go back and watch a lot of these athletic events as well.
Second and goal for the
Second and
Indians.
goal
Ball
now
is
here
on
for Hart.
Bridgewater, Raynham,
Ball
9
spotted
yard
at the BR 8-yard line. Hart rolls, looking, still looking, lobs it to the end zone. And that is a touchdown.
Ray Gramlich for a
That's
touchdown.
Ray Gremlich
A 9-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Hart.
from 8
to
yards
Ray
out.
Gramlich.
And if we have this on replay, if we can see Gremlich did a nice job. Wasn't open at first, just moved himself around. There you go, turning himself, looking back to the football, hauls it in. Mason Payton back there for Bridgewater Raynham. He got turned around, and Gremlich just cradled it home, and Indians up now by a score of 20-7. Atomic leg knocks it down to
And the
Route
kick is
6.
good. And with 32 seconds to go,
And that's a late score for the Indians, up the score to 21-7, and a big score as they go into the locker room in about 30 seconds.
100%. I mean, Bridgewater Raynham was hoping to hang on to the one possession game as we get closer to halftime, but we knew when the Indians took the ball over with about a minute 50, we knew that was like plenty of time to come down the field. And Ray Gramlich now has a touchdown run to his credit tonight from 5 yards out, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, and I believe this is his first touchdown reception of the season. So 2 touchdowns tonight for Gramlich, well earned, as he's worked so hard to the inside, so it was really enjoyable for him to make that touchdown reception, I'm sure.
And his grandparents are just sitting to the right of us in the stands. Susan and Ray, known them for a long time, and they're getting a big kick out of watching their grandson perform here for the Indians.
So I'm thinking now, the Gramlich that was kicking extra points for New Bedford High School, will that be the father or the grandfather? I'm trying to think, so many years have gone by.
That would be Ray and Sue's son. This is the grandson.
Ah, wow.
Yep.
That shows you how long we've been around.
Yeah, too long. There's a
Ooh.
nearly muffed there, and the Indians down there to recover, and down goes the punt returner, and Bridgewater Raynham will have 27 seconds to try to get something going offensively, now trailing by a score of 21-7. So the views, Caleb Tripp and Owen King, and as I've mentioned a few times, the package is not a lot offensively. 4, 5, 6 plays ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Indians could see it coming after a while. I mean, it was effective for a little while, but then again, you know, they got that special teams play that resulted in their first possession being at the Dartmouth 35. So they scored on a very short field. It wasn't like they sustained it for a long time, but the Indians have definitely made some adjustments to make it harder for them to run the ball.
Well, Tripp in there at the quarterback spot with 27 seconds to go. And he's going to turn and keep it. And Tom Quinn's going to say, hello, nice meeting you on this Friday night. As the clock ticks down under 20 seconds.
Along with Logan Arujo.
So the Indians getting control of the game here. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. But here in the second quarter, 2 scores by Dartmouth. And now they've kind of taken the bull by the horns here. As you would expect, they're 6-0 coming into this game. Bridgewater Raynham at 1-5. So the Indians have definitely taken control here in the second quarter.
So that'll do it at the end of one half of play here from the stadium. The 6-0 Indians lead the Trojans of Bridgewater Raynham by a score of 21-7. Sit tight. The Dartmouth High School band will be performing at halftime. Enjoy them. They are just a treat to watch. And Paul and I will be back with more football action in about 12 minutes.
The competition, the sacrifice, and team unity are the cornerstones of life for each and every one of us here.
Never in my wildest dreams. And when you're on chemo, you do have wild dreams. Did I ever think I would be inducted into this Hall of Fame?
My Dartmouth High School athletic days are some of my fondest memories.
I wish all of you in one day of your life could feel what this feels like. To do something you love for years and to be honored like this.
A Hall of Fame is something that is a great accolade. It's something that, we've all walked into that front area at Dartmouth High School and seen them pictures on the wall. It's such an honor to be able to have my face on there.
Dartmouth pride is more of, wearing green, wearing Dartmouth across your chest, being part of a team, being part of a family, and basically just the spirit of it, having the Dartmouth pride to get you through those 4 years.
So much more than just these stats and these wins and these titles. It's this passion, this contagious feeling of Dartmouth athletics, and its legacy. It has so much heritage, and it's passed on year after year because of people who are here tonight, because of the coaches and all that they do.
Your team of state champions, the Dartmouth High School champions of Division III.
Wow. Oh, this team has been wonderful.
Touchdown, Jordan Todman from 60 yards out.
You're going to get knocked down, you're going to get hit, you're going to have a little pain, a little aggravation, and you got to understand that you've got to get back in the game. And I think that's life. We all get knocked down in life, and you got to get back and play the game of life and play it hard with a great deal of enthusiasm. And I think that's where I hope that they'd always do that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our senior night football game between Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School and your Dartmouth High School Indians. The Dartmouth High School Marching Band will perform their 2023 production, Stencils at an Alleyway. We need the owner of car 3ZBL94 that is parked illegally. It needs to be moved or it will be towed. 3, a red Nissan 3 Zebra Paul Lima 94. You need to move your car immediately or it will be towed. Drum major, is the band ready? Drum major, you may take the field for performance.
35 is my fucking hit. Bro, Jesus Christ himself was mad at something. 35 is my hit. I'll tell you that for damn sure. Country. 30. Country. Country. Hell yeah. I'm fucking him up. I don't know where they stand. No. Guess what?
Well, I can tell you, Paul Santos, you can travel to a lot of high school stadiums around the land. You won't see what we witness here tonight, one of the greatest bands, without question, in America.
No question about it. And, you can see them over and over, and then it still surprises me to see them, how good they are. I mean, just one of the top, if not the top bands across the United States. Great job being done by everyone involved, and a real enjoyable time here at halftime watching them perform.
Well, it's been a good half of football. The Indians scored late to nudge their lead up at 21-7. Bridgewater Raynham looking for the second win of the year. The Indians undefeated. And Bridgewater Raynham came into this game, Paul, banged up with several of their starters on both sides of the ball. They've utilized two quarterbacks here tonight. And their offense is really condensed into 5 or 6 plays. They're kind of hanging around on defense, but the Indians showed a little resolve in the second period, especially late, getting that late touchdown to give them the 2 touchdown advantage as we begin period number 3.
And a pair of touchdowns by Ray Gramlich, one on the ground and one by pass. Got a touchdown reception, and the other one by quarterback Jackson Hart.
And Louis. End over end. And it's muffed and still trying to come up with it. And it's Kritchner, and Kritchner goes nowhere. And on the stop was Johan Johnson for the Indians on special teams. So Bridgewater Raynham, we've talked about all night long. They've had the injury bug, using 2 quarterbacks, play packages, 5 or 6 perhaps in their arsenal now. Now they have a long field to start the third, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Very tough situation for head coach Lou Pacheco. 10 different players injured. And they've tried a number of different quarterbacks tonight. We've seen Caleb Tripp. We've seen Owen King. But as Jim said, limited offense and very easy for Dartmouth to have adjusted to it.
So they just turn and hand it to the big fella. That's Natsis. Natsis has just been plugging along all night long, just trying to churn out 3 or 4 yards at a pop. But trailing by 2 touchdown balls. Got a long way to go to get back into this one.
Long way to go, no question about it. And, well, Gramlich having himself a game, both offensively and defensively.
2nd down and 3. And this is the quarterback on the quarterback keeper. That's Caleb Tripp. And Tripp's got himself a 1st down off a gain of 3.
Tom Quinn and Ray Gramlich on the carry.
Ray Gramlich in there defensively once again.
Brings the ball out to the 26-yard line. That's
very important possession here for Bridgewater Raynham. Obviously down by 2 possessions here against the favorite Dartmouth Indians here, and being able to try to establish something here in the 3rd quarter. Long way to go, of course, down by 2 possessions, but a 1st down on 2 carries.
Tripp at quarterback for Bridgewater.
Tripp's going to keep it, looking for running room. Not going to get any as Tom Quinn's in there to shove him down, along with a couple of his other teammates. You may wonder where Andrew Thompson is tonight, Paul. He's out on special assignment. He's watching cable companies down at Myrtle Beach. They've got some good high school football announcers down there, so he's down on a training mission sent down by Peter Chase. And he's really training tonight. He's at some bar with a bunch of people from Allendale Country Club. And they're watching, so on behalf of the staff here at DCTV, Paul would like to buy everyone a cocktail. So
That's
enjoy,
right.
fellas. We hope you're enjoying your trip. A bunch of good guys went down there. And I have no idea what my son would be doing at a bar after a long day of golf. Must take after his mom. Anyway, That's the Tassie, and he goes nowhere. Jalen Adams in there for the Indians.
Jalen Adams and
Bring up 3rd and 9, Paul, and
Jason Martin
not
on
much
the
in the
tackle.
playbook for Bridgewater Raynham.
No, we've talked about it all night. Really limited after that
For Bridgewater Raynham.
injury, particularly to the starting quarterback, the senior Declan Byrne, broke his leg. So he's out, and then you have all these other injuries, 10 injuries altogether, and they're shuffling people back and forth. Is it Owen King at quarterback? Is it Caleb Tripp? You can only lean on that running back, Amin Abbasi, so much.
Well, they have 3rd and long. And they're going to throw it to the pitch man, and it's high, and he's going to just turn around and fall on it. And now they're going to have to punt the football away.
As soon as he released the ball, you could tell that it was well overthrown.
Dylan Reed had no chance. And they've run that motion all night long, and that's the first time they've pitched to the motion man.
Yeah, that's right. The guy's been running that play all night long and never gets the ball. You're right.
There's the reason. Well, you put in a quarterback, the kid's probably run it 5 times in practice and throws it off the wrong shoulder.
Louis Freitas and
So another high booming kick, and they're just going to let it go. Smart play there by the Indians, who've had trouble on a couple of these punts this evening. So they'll get good field position to start their offense here in the 3rd. 8:31 to go, and a 21-7 lead, Paul.
Yeah, the Indians really in control here, especially after you got into the second quarter. You know, it was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. But the Indians hadn't even found their stride yet. And remember, you know, the Indians had that first possession. Bridgewater Raynham came down and scored on a short field. And then they recovered an onside kick. And then, you know, moved the ball a little bit and then ended up having to punt. But the Indians, right, they only got their second possession later on. And once they got into the groove, they started to become more effective offensively.
Here's Gremlick. Gremlick knocks over one guy, and he gets smashed from behind, but not before he picks up a first down and darn close to it.
For Bridgewater, whose number we do not have, and also Owen King.
Owen King there along with
Brings
number
the ball out the
44, who
midfield. That's enough for an Indian first
I'm
down.
sure is a starter normally,
First
but
and 10 for the Indians right at midfield.
I did hear one of the coaches say there was going to be a uniform change, so part our fault as well up here in the booth, but no reported name for number 44. First and 10 Indians from midfield. Hart kept it and still fighting for yardage, and
Trojans.
bunch of Bridgewater kids there to knock him down. Peyton, one of them, along with Nicholas. Not before he picked up a gain of 3.
Well, Jackson Hart, you know, he's done a great job all year. He's got 9 touchdown passes this year, one of them tonight to Ray Gramlich. He's rushed for an additional 6 touchdowns. And he's been very, very effective in this his second year calling signals for the Indians.
Gremlick gets back to the line of scrimmage before he was wrapped up by Declan Fahey. 3rd 7 now for Jackson Hart and the Indians. They lead in this one by a score of 21-7, just under 7 to go. Here in the 3rd, I'm Jim Thompson. He's Paul Santos.
3rd and 7.
We got a Crackerjack crew in the truck tonight. Peter Chase is up watching a comedy show, Paul, and if you listened to the game last week in the 4th quarter, that was such a comedy show we put on, he decided not to show up tonight. Shouldn't bring that up, should I? All right, here's Hart. Here comes the rush. He throws near sideline and overshoots Marcus Andrews. And Ricky's going to send the punt team out.
Always difficult to throw when you're rolling out to your left if you're a right-handed quarterback. And Jackson Hart was doing that, and he can do it pretty well. But that time he came to his left, looked downfield. Looked like he had 2 potential receivers to throw the ball to, but was unable to hook up with either one of them. And so the Indians will be punting. I can't remember them punting the whole night. Have they punted tonight? I can't remember. I don't believe so.
This is the first one.
35 points a game the Indians offense has been averaging this season.
Good snap, no rush, high, very short punt, far sideline. Just going to bounce around there at the 30-yard line. The Indians will down it there. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line. So a very short punt by the Indians, and Bridgewater Raynham will have their second possession of the second half, now trailing by 14 points.
Don't forget to join us live on Thanksgiving for the annual Dartmouth versus Fairhaven football game. And this one should be a real good one this year. Two really solid teams. We're really excited about that one. I know it's quite a few weeks off, but it'll come soon. Our coverage will begin at 9:30 a.m. with our pregame show with kickoff scheduled for 10 a.m. on Thursday, November 23rd. Watch all the action on Dartmouth Comcast Channel 18 or on DCTV's YouTube channel.
Well, they've done what they've done all night long, just try to pick up yards via the run. That was Caleb Tripp, the ball carrier, and host of Indians took him down to the ground. No gain on the play, second down and 10.
You can see they don't have the speed that Dartmouth has. You see Caleb Tripp doing the best he can. He's had some duties as quarterback. He's a fullback, a running back, and you could tell as he was running the ball, you could see that he doesn't have the speed that the Dartmouth skill position players have, but did the best he could. Second down and 10 now for Bridgewater Raynham.
Now, was that a cold read that you did?
That was a cold read.
Oh, good, you did good.
Two cold reads.
Owen King in there now at the quarterback spot. He's just going to throw it here to the near side. Natsis was the intended receiver and got his hands on it but couldn't haul it in. And a third long now for Bridgewater Raynham. And as I've said all night long, the playbook gets shorter and shorter as it seems as this game drags on for them from the offensive side of the ball, Paul.
Yeah, that last one looked like it was forced a little bit, and the execution was not there. So now with 3rd and 10, I don't know from the Bridgewater Raynham point of view, what do you call up here? I mean, the chances of getting 10 on a running play is probably not that good. The chances of passing one down the field and getting 10 yards is probably not that good either. So a tough decision for the head coach, Lou Pacheco.
Here comes the rush. And he's still upright, and he's just going to throw it up for grabs. And it's caught. And it's enough for a first down for Bridgewater Raynham.
King's pass to Porter is complete.
What a turn of events that time. He's in complete trouble. He's got no place to go.
Will Porter.
And he just throws the ball up there, and there's Will Porter. Talk about a 50-50 ball. It was more like a 30-70 ball. But he managed to reach up there. The junior wide receiver brings the ball in. It was kind of like a Hail Mary to the 50-yard line, and it worked out for Bridgewater Raynham.
So 1st and 10 Trojans. Perhaps give them a little spark. Indians on the run blitz. Wrap up the running back. Charles Swenson. Tommy Quinn in there once again for the Indians.
And Tom Quinn and
well, Bridgewater Raynham trying to benefit from that broken play where they just kind of threw the ball up there, and a great reception was made, but the Indian defense immediately on the very next play throw the Bridgewater Raynham running back for a 3-yard loss, so they're going to stop it right here if they can. And right away, Bridgewater Raynham with a 2nd and long.
Owen King at the QB spot now. They're rotating their backs as well. King throws, got a man here near side, and nicely defended by Tom Quinn.
Intended for Porter is incomplete.
So you see Bridgewater Raynham throwing a little bit more here in the second half. Looked like it was potentially a high percentage pass, but Tom Quinn reached up, deflected it away from the intended receiver, William Porter, who's managed to bring that ball in a few minutes ago. But this time could not do it. And once again, they're in a 3rd down and 13. It looks like Bridgewater Raynham is looking to throw on these 3rd and longs. They're not holding back, so we'll see what they call up here.
On their own
Donovan Burgo was
44-yard line.
injured on the play, and he's sitting down behind the bench here at midfield, being attended to. Third and a long way to go. Here comes the rush. They throw it across the field and picked up! It's Jackson Hart down the sideline. They won't catch him. Jackson Hart takes it in for an Indian score.
52-yard interception.
From 53 yards out, Jackson Hart picks it off and takes it down the sideline.
Well, a pass being forced here by Bridgewater Raynham. They've been throwing the ball a little bit more. Owen King throws it right across the Dartmouth defense, but Jackson Hart, who's done such an outstanding job on quarterback this year for the Dartmouth Indians, comes up from his defensive position and has the interception return, the pick six. And Dartmouth now has a 3-possession lead.
Aiden Genren, the holder.
So Louis comes on for the point after touchdown. Rides it up, rides it through, gives the Indians a 28-7 lead. The clock stopped here at the stadium. 3:39 to go in the third, and the Indians now pulling away in this one.
So Jackson Hart has a touchdown run tonight, touchdown number 7 rushing. He also has a touchdown pass to Ray Gramlich, and he has a pick 6. How about that? Getting on the scoreboard on the ground, via the air from his quarterback position, and on the defensive side of the ball. So that's a night.
For me, that would have been a career.
Hey, Jim, did you know that the town of Dartmouth recently released a communication survey?
I did.
That everyone in the community is encouraged to complete? It aims to find out how people prefer to receive town news and updates while identifying topics that you care most about. I just realized I did that one earlier. To take the survey, visit engagedartmouth.org. Engagedartmouth.org and click on the survey. Out of all these talking points, I go and read the same one twice.
Well, that's okay. It's, you know, we could have read the field hockey results. That's what we had originally. Here's Porter. And he brings it across the 25 to about the 26-yard line where Bridgewater Raynham will have it. Now trailing by a large score of 28-7.
Did you know that the holiday season is right around the corner?
I did.
You can watch all the Dartmouth Public Schools music holiday concerts live online on DCTV's YouTube channel. Follow DCTV on Facebook, Instagram, or X, formerly known as Twitter, to be alerted when these live streams will take place.
Formerly known as my first wife. That would be an X.
Miss X, right?
Miss
Yeah,
X.
yeah, Miss X.
1st and 10. Let's not start this. We got in trouble last week. 1st and 10 for Bridgewater Raynham, and this is the quarterback trip, and he's got himself a first down, still on his feet, and he stepped out of bounds. We're just going to see where they marked him out. They're going to mark him out at about the 46-yard line, but that'll be enough for a first down.
That was a nice run that time by Bridgewater Raynham. See a little second effort to get around the side, and there it goes, Caleb Tripp.
44-yard line of the Trojans.
Really done a good job considering, you know, the situation they found himself in. Just a junior. He's a fullback. He's coming in there playing quarterback. Totally different type of position. And he's run some successful plays. As we said, difficult situation to come into, and he's performed fairly well given the circumstances.
I would agree. Not an easy job. There's the running back. That's Aiden DeTassis. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard or two.
Gramlich on the tackle.
Ray Gramlich there on the stop for the Indians. I'll give him a short gain. Second down, we'll call it 9 to go. You're watching Dartmouth High School football live on YouTube. And I just got a text in from London, England. They just made that up. This sounded good. No,
that did sound good.
I did have a text right there. You can see it. From London, England, enjoying the game from across the pond. Your ex.
No penalty on the play.
That's a different X than
I shouldn't have read that one. The current wife won't like that.
That wasn't on the talking points, was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
Oh.
No. 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 for Bridgewater Raynham on their own 47-yard line.
Here's Tripp.
Trip on the carry.
And Tommy Quinn makes the
Quinn
stop
on the
for
tackle.
the Indians. So I keep hating to repeat myself, but they got 4 or 5 plays. That's it. And Coach Martin has been around a long time. And when he called that timeout midway through the first quarter, I think he figured out, okay, this is what they're going to do. We don't know who's quarterbacking, but now that we see what they're going to do and they're under center,
Line of the Indians. It will be 3rd and 3.
he's figured it out
for
since then.
Bridgewater.
Absolutely, and the Indians adjusted. There was only 7-7 at the end of one quarter, but once you get into the second quarter, you could feel things change, and the Indians took control of the football game then, and it's continued here in the second half.
3rd down and 4. And it's the inside handoff to the wide receiver, and that goes nowhere. Dylan Reed was the ball carrier. Jalen Adams sniffed that out. It's going to bring up 4th down and
Matter of fact, lost one.
a long 4, perhaps 5, right from the midfield stripe. And a nice crowd you can see across the way for Bridgewater Raynham.
Yeah, they made the ride down here. Usually a good game, usually a tough game for Dartmouth, but Dartmouth having one of their better seasons, Bridgewater Raynham having one of their more rebuilding campaigns. And as a result, it's the Indians that are heavily favored. Now, going forward on 4th down, can't blame them. 3-possession game.
Going to throw it. Got 2 men out there, and it falls incomplete in the Indians secondary. The Indians hold them on defense, which they've done to most teams this year, holding teams to about 8 points a ball game. And now with a 21-point lead, Paul, with just over a minute to go, they'll have the ball at midfield.
You know, the quarterback did a good job getting rid of that ball because he was sort of on his back foot, and he was about to be hit, but he still got it away, and the ball went really close to the intended receiver. So it's a good job getting it away, but they turn the ball over on downs, and the Indians take over now with the ball right at midfield. Tremendous field position as we come down to the final minute or so here in quarter number 3.
Hard at quarterback for the Indians.
Gramlich
on the carry.
takes a pop as he crosses the 48 down to the 47-yard line.
Tavares in on the tackle.
Vincent Tavares gets up from the bottom of the stack. Not before Ray picked up a solid gain of 3. He usually hits that first guy in the hole and knocks him down. That time Tavares did a good job, held on to him, and made a surefire tackle.
Slowed him down just a little bit. Ray having a great game tonight. Getting into the end zone, carrying the ball. Great game on defense, too.
Hart gets it out quickly to Andrews. Andrews got room. Andrews is down inside the 40-yard line and picks himself up a 1st down. Marcus Andrews, he's got 7 touchdowns on the season, and he's a blazer on the outside.
Got so much speed, only a junior. Really a fun player to watch. There's a lot of entertaining players on this year's Dartmouth Indian team, and he's one of them for sure. And when he really can get into the open turf, really a tough man to catch. And as we wind down the 3rd quarter here, I was thinking ahead a little bit, right? It'll be interesting to see how this turns out here for Dartmouth because, you know, they're playing New Bedford next week.
And that's the end of the
3rd quarter,
with the score.
including here. And New Bedford next week. Okay, New Bedford has struggled a little bit the last few years. And then after that, it'll be playoffs. And the Indians really, through no fault of their own, the last few weeks, the competition hasn't been what you may see in the playoffs. So usually coaches want to play opponents who are going to challenge you and stuff like that. It's great having the undefeated record, but it'll be interesting to see once you start playing other teams that maybe they have undefeated records or maybe they've only lost 1 game all year, how the Indians may adjust to that. What do you think about that? I know you've been coaching for a long time.
No, I think that's very valid. You know, they went to an independent schedule this year, so they get rid of Brockton, and wouldn't you know, Brockton's 1-5.
Right.
You never see Bridgewater Raynham like this, and we've talked about it throughout this telecast. They've just been hit by the injury bug. So they lost, I think, 10 players from last year, and I think some of them left to go to a different program. I tried to get some information on this afternoon. Some of them didn't graduate. They just left the school, and now you can go to any high school you want. So I think a couple of those kids they were counting on didn't stay with the program. Then you get the injury bug, plus the graduating seniors. And like we've seen here over the years, we saw it last year. We saw this young team struggle a little bit, played together as a team, and they knew coming into this year, Ricky knew he had a good team. And these kids, the bulk of this team were juniors. So next year they should do really well. And here's one of the guys that's done great this year. They showed a lot of spirit is Marcus Andrew, excuse me. And he gets up slowly, being helped up by good sportsmanship there by Bridgewater Raynham. Always nice to see good sportsmanship, Paul.
Exactly. Well, I remember last year when I was watching this team and I saw the amount of sophomores that were in there, Jackson Hart being one of them, among many others. And then you saw a lot of juniors in there. Well, those juniors are now seniors and the sophomores are now juniors. So you get a lot of players in there, a lot of experience. And so I thought so, too. I thought they were coming in with a really, really solid team. And so far we've seen it.
Yeah, last week they were ranked 5th in Division III. This week, 7th. So like you say, Durfee has won one game, I think. New Bedford's won one game. So going into it, they're a division higher. It is a middle screen once again. It worked earlier in the game, and it's going to work again. This is Andrews. Marcus still on his feet. He's running for the pylon, and Marcus Andrews is in for a touchdown. From 46 yards out. That's the second time they used that play, Paul, and it's a beauty.
Yeah, I really like this play because once you get the ball, see all the real estate around Marcus Andrews, and if you're going to give a ball to a player with a lot of real estate, it's Marcus Andrews. Now, wait a minute. There is a flag down, so we want to make sure it's not coming back. Right now, it's in the books as a 45-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Hart to Marcus Andrews. They're preparing to get ready for the extra point.
Can we run that back after the kick? So the referees are conferring. It's against Bridgewater Raynham. Indians decline. And it is officially now a
Dead
touchdown.
ball foul on sportsmanlike conduct against Bridgewater Raynham.
Be assessed on the kickoff. And guys on the truck.
Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
After the kick, we'll run that really slow if we could, guys.
8th touchdown of the year for Marcus Andrews, his first touchdown reception. So 2 touchdown passes by Jackson Hart tonight.
And Louis, not one of his better kicks, but good enough. Just inside the left upright. 35-7. Let's see if we run this back in slow motion. And let's see. It's not similar to the play they ran earlier. Let's just get the line. Hold it right there. Could you?
30 points. It's 28 points.
See if we can pick anything up. Did you pick anything up there?
Well, they didn't stop the play. If they could run it back from the beginning again, I want to see where 13 lines up, where Marcus lines up.
Maybe we can cue that up again and take a quick look at it. But it's a 35-7 lead. And let's take a look.
All right. So he's at the top of your screen. He's the slot guy. Watch him just run a little curl. You let these guys come in. He fakes. He just runs under, and he's wide open. Everybody's rushing to get to clear the linebackers out, and he's just wide open with his speed.
Everybody kind of backed up. And like we said, if you're going to have somebody get the ball with a lot of real estate around, Marcus Andrews is the last person from the Bridgewater Raynham point of view that they want to be able to see the player in open space like that.
So we have a little
Louis Freitas to kick off.
Little talking points up here in the booth between the Dartmouth coaches and the clock operator. And they're trying to figure out what the rule is on a running clock.
Has to be a 30-point lead, not 30 points on the clock.
And Louis tries to he hits the crossbar.
Nice.
I get a kick out of him. He's
almost goes through.
not only is he a good offensive receiver and a good overall teammate. I just get a kick out of watching high school kickers because it's rare, Paul. We've seen a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you see guys, kids that just about can get it over the crossbar, and you run into a guy like Freitas who's got a big leg.
Yeah, and that's big, you know, like you get into the playoffs and you get into one of these games that comes down to the last play. That's really a nice thing to have in your arsenal, a player that can kick extra points and can kick field goals. Because it's not really that long ago you hardly ever saw people kicking field goals at the high school level.
Tripp at quarterback for
So
Bridgewater
Tripp now
Raynham.
in at quarterback. He's been in and out of the lineup, and they just run it up the middle. That's Natz's. He's got a lot of carries here tonight. And therefore the Indians was Carrero, Aiden Carrero. So Ricky's going to bring in a lot of the JV kids, a lot of the backups.
Gain of 7 on the play. It
All
will
the
be
guys going
second
to
and
make
3
sure
for
that these kids
Bridgewater.
get their FaceTime. Sometimes we get a little crazy in the fourth, but now we have talking points, so we don't have to do that anymore.
Right, and it is good to see some of these younger players. We want to keep an eye out on some of those because some of these guys that you're seeing now, you know, they work hard in practice. They're getting their opportunity, and some of them you may see them in a more, I don't know, involved role next year.
Tripp on the carry.
Is Tripp. Seen this all night. Not much offense for Bridgewater.
Logan Arujo and
Logan
Jason Martin on
Arujo,
the tackle.
Jason Martin there for the Indians.
But that's enough for a Bridgewater first down. First and 10 for Bridgewater Raynham on their own.
It'll give Bridgewater a
31-yard line.
first down. So the Indian coaches were saying they thought the rule was 28 points. The clock operator said no, it's 30. And the clock operator has won the argument, Paul.
And it has to be a 30-point lead, right? So 35-7. There's only a 28-point lead.
Tripp on the carry.
This is Tripp and Indians
Led by a host of Indians.
fighting for the loose ball down there. Marcus Dupree, he's one of the guys down there, along with Tom Quinn.
Dupree. Tom Quinn
Short
on the
game.
tackle.
Clock rolls down to the 9-minute mark. Indians well on the way. Keep that undefeated season on the way to the 7th victory of the season. At New Bedford next weekend. We won't have it, but I believe that the New Bedford Cable Company will be broadcasting that game, and we'll get the tape and play it across our network. In the old days, Paul, they used to send us down there to Walsh Field, but not so much anymore. As Bridgewater Raynham runs it to the right-hand side.
Dupree on the
And
tackle.
Dupree makes another tackle.
Jalen Adams.
Jalen
Penalty
Adams
marker
there
on
as
the
well.
play.
Lamar Lee was the ball carrier.
A couple of seniors making the stop there for Dartmouth. And it brings up a flag on the play. The officials are discussing it.
Yeah, do you like Linguiça? You like Plain? But where are we going after the game?
Where are we going?
That's what they're discussing. Hey, the guy says, he's pointing now. I want the one that's free.
Speaking of food, you know, Jim Thompson bought me a hot dog at the half with mustard, which was very enjoyable. I appreciate that.
Personal foul being whistled against the Indians.
I don't know why I dropped that in. That came out of nowhere. That was not particularly important, but
Well, it was. I told Doc Nunes they have to reshuffle some of the things down there at the hot dog stand. And he didn't like my comment. So there goes his vote for school committee. First and 10, Bridgewater Raynham. And now whistles blow. And they refire. Head official talking to the coaches at Bridgewater Raynham. First and 10 for the Trojans. And
Tripp
this
on the
is
carry.
the quarterback Tripp, and he gets through the first wave of defenders and works his way close to a first down. Indians have a lot of seconds and thirds in there defensively, and that should be enough for a first down, and it is.
Look like Aiden Carrero participating in the tackle that time. Clock continuing to wind down. We've seen a lot of different things tonight. A couple of touchdown passes for the Dartmouth Indians, a couple of nice long runs, and even a pick six by Jackson Hart.
And it's the big fella. He's had a good night running the football. Aiden Natsis.
Jason Martin in on the
Jason
tackle.
Martin still out there for the Indians. Natsis picks up a solid gain of 5.5 yards. Second down, approaching the 7-minute mark
Gain of
in
5
this
on the play
ball
will
game.
be 2nd and 5.
Dartmouth in Division III this year, so after next week, 7 games will be in the books. Hopefully from the Dartmouth point of view, it'll be 7-0. The Indians rank number 7, and then it's just a matter of seeing where the Indians will play and who they will play in weeks 8 and 9.
You're striving for a home game, but the schedule
Tripp on
is
the
what the
carry.
schedule is. And here's a quarterback keeper, and he's a nice runner. He's got a little bit of speed, and he picks up
on the
another
tackle.
Bridgewater first down. They move the chains along the
ball
far
down
sideline.
to-
Walter Farrier over there, Dartmouth High School Hall of Famer. Talked to him before the game. Local attorney, along with Paul Santos.
Yes, correct, fellow barrister. He's
And-
got quite a grandson for an athlete.
He most certainly does.
It will be first
Always
and
rooting
10
for the local guy, that's for sure.
for
He started here
Raynham
at
on the
Dartmouth
Indian
High, and
19
I contend he
yard
might have been the first 4-star athlete in the history of Dartmouth athletics had he stuck around. Went down to Tabor Academy, and now is playing college baseball.
Abassi on the carry.
That's Eamon Abassi, who started the game at the fullback spot, back in there now late in the game, under 6 to go.
You mentioned with the Indians being ranked number 7, that if they don't move up too much, even with a win over New Bedford, there's a possibility they could end up on the road right from the get-go.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate because you could end up pretty far away from here. And it's a little difficult depending on when the game is, the time. I mean, there's always a good following of Dartmouth fans that go to the away game, but it's not as nice as having it right here at this facility.
Absolutely. I think we went up to Milton a couple of years ago where the Indians didn't fare well up there in the tournament.
Tassi on the
And
carry.
here's the big guy, and he's
Whoa.
going to go in
And he's in
for
a touchdown.
the score. Abassi gets Bridgewater
19-yard
Raynham
touchdown
a
run
touchdown from
by Amin
16
Abassi.
yards out.
Well, he's definitely earned it because he's done a nice job here tonight for the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. Amin Abassi, he is a senior, and he's been doing a majority of the ball carrying here tonight. He's also played defensive end on defensive side of the ball, and he's really worked hard to try to make that offense go as best they could in spite of the injuries. And he ends up with pay dirt here in the fourth quarter.
Go for the 2-point conversion.
So they'll go for the 2-point conversion.
Tripp at quarterback.
Tripp's going to keep it to the right side. The Indians bottle him up,
Keeps it,
but he
he's
just
in.
nudges his way in for the
And he's in
two-point
for the
conversion.
two-point
So
conversion.
Bridgewater Raynham
So
with
with
under
5 minutes and
5.5
22
minutes to go.
seconds to go
Puts up
in the
8 points on the
fourth
board,
quarter.
and they now trail
The
by a
Dartmouth
score of
Indians
35
the Bridgewater Raynham
to
Trojans
15. Oh, Coach White had a lot of JV kids out there, a few seniors that don't get a chance to play, and Bridgewater Raynham took advantage of it as the band plays on, Paul.
Well, look at those tubas, right? Very heavy instruments to be able to carry around. And if you watch this Dartmouth High School marching band under the direction of Ian Flint and Thomas Unkst.
Hey, one of my favorite times of year is Thanksgiving, and if you've watched these telecasts over the years, my wife has been at Butwood Park looking for the right pigeon. So we have pigeon in our house.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been down at Buttonwood Park, and Sue's been throwing all kind of stuff, you know. So we think we got one. We tagged one, which Mayor Mitchell will be really mad about. But we're going to be live versus Fairhaven. Our coverage will begin at 9:30 Thanksgiving morning for the pregame show. Watch all the action right on Channel 18 and on our YouTube channel. And Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Fairhaven's having a good season this year behind that running back that we saw before, and I got to tell you, should be a good game.
Onside kick that they get once again.
And Bridgewater. Nope.
It didn't go 10 yards. Okay.
I was about to
Did it go
say.
10? They're saying one referee said it didn't. Now they're talking.
Let's take a look. I mean, if they recover this, imagine recovering 2 onside kicks in the same game. When was the last time you saw that? See what the ruling is.
Well, they're going to give the ball to Bridgewater Raynham.
Took a very friendly bounce. The Bridgewater Raynham player, the ball came right up to his chest, and he just kind of collected it and managed to bring it in. So 2 successful onside kicks executed by Bridgewater Raynham.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Bridgewater.
There it is again. There's the 40-yard line. So let's see if it went.
47-yard line.
Yeah, it definitely went 10 yards.
Yep.
With a couple of yards to spare.
And I'm sure Lawyer will look at that on tape, and you got to charge the football in that situation. You can't let it come to you. You got to charge the ball. That pass goes incomplete.
King's pass intended for William Porter is incomplete.
So Ricky's put a lot of these first-teamers back in with a 20-point lead.
Indians about to get their 7th win of the season. And a game next week at Walsh Field against New Bedford. New Bedford just played Bridgewater Raynham last week and defeated them 7-0, which was a nice win for them.
That should be a good game at New Bedford because, like Dartmouth, they're very athletic. And here is
King on the
the quarterback, King. Flag comes down, and King's got a big gainer and a first down. The flag is back here at the 45-yard line, right at the feet of the head official. So that looks like that'll come back. Holding against Bridgewater Raynham. Often wonder, Paul, when they get big runs like that at any level of football, there's always a good opportunity for the referee to throw the flag.
Yes, we see it time and time again, and it happens here. Bridgewater Raynham with a good gain that time, but the holding penalty brings it back. Creates a 2nd down situation. And Bridgewater Raynham right up against it here, trailing by 20. And as we said, Dartmouth will see how they do next week against New Bedford. That's a game that you would expect them to win, but, you know, New Bedford, they had a nice win last week against Bridgewater Raynham. And it was only a 7-0 win, but still, game at Walsh Field. And the Indians needing to win that one to continue onward toward the playoffs.
Throw it, and they got a man. It's complete. And he's in the secondary of the Indians.
Lamar Lee is complete.
And Lamar Lee on the reception.
Maddox Dupree in on the tackle.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 now for Bridgewater Raynham. Clock rolling.
It will be
4:45 to go in the ball game.
5 touchdowns tonight for this high-powered Dartmouth team, and they average 35 a game. And what do they have right now? 35.
It's a ball fake. Indians rush, and they complete it down there at the 35-yard line. Will Porter on the reception. And that's going to be enough for a Trojan first down.
37-yard line of the
That was a nicely executed play there by Bridgewater Raynham, because a lot of their passes today have been sort of these like high bloopers with a lot of air underneath them. But look at the way this ball just fired right down the middle. High percentage pass and a nice tight spiral by the quarterback and a first down.
It's Owen King in there at the quarterback spot. Been rotating all night long. And now they give it to a new running back. That's Swenson, and Swenson's in the Indian secondary. And he rips off a 24-yard run. and a first down.
Well, here's Swenson. We haven't seen him too many times tonight, but he's been in there a little bit more. He is a running back, of course, and he is a junior for Bridgewater Raynham, and he manages to move the ball deep into the Dartmouth secondary. And a first down here for Bridgewater Raynham.
And I did hear the Indian coaches upstairs talking to the headsets of the guys on the field. The coach is saying perhaps we should just talk about this and get our kids settled, and that's what Ricky's going to do. You know, Paul, the North Dartmouth Library will be hosting an open house and unveiling its new donor wall on Thursday, November 7th from 4 to 7 p.m. Meet the new director and assistant director of libraries while taking a tour of the library that opened in 2020. The North Dartmouth Library, located next door to the Potter School at 211 Cross Road. I can't wait. Light refreshments will be served.
Was that a cold read?
That was a cold read with a little ad lib. When you have a degree in broadcast journalism, you have a little ad lib there.
Well, did you know that the Dartmouth Parks and Recreation Department and Fire District 1 is holding a trunk or treat tomorrow, Saturday, October 21st? This is only good if you're watching on YouTube. Free event is 5 to 6:30 at the Bridge Street Fire Station. Stop in and say hi to the DCTV staff.
Great. There's the quarterback on the keeper. He's still on his feet, going to the pylon, and King is in for the score.
Wow.
So off the offside kick, special teams has been a major factor in this game. If you look back at it, a couple of onside kicks recovered, a punt that hit a Dartmouth Indian recovered by Bridgewater Raynham. They're getting all the breaks, and rightfully so on special teams. And here King runs it in on a short yardage play to get his team a little bit closer at 35-21.
So Owen King, the junior, generally plays wide receiver, but they're all being used in various positions based on the 10 injuries Bridgewater Raynham had coming into this game. And he goes into the end zone for the score. I mean, in the end, it's going to be a respectfully sounding score at the end of the game.
I would agree, as Mason Berry knocks it through to make it 35-21. And I think you folks at home should go grab a refreshment and sit at the edge of your seats, because I suspect another onside kick is coming our way. And I'm sure that the Indian coaching staff is not happy with what they're seeing on special teams. And, of course, we have the legendary Bill Belichick. Say what you will about him this season. He's talked about it his whole career, and people still make fun of him. But if you've been around the game as long as we have, and others, a lot of people in this stadium here tonight, they play a crucial part, especially at this level. I mean, you don't practice onside kicks in practice. You might give it 5 minutes a week. Kids don't have time, especially now they cut the practice time and there's more film study. So you don't get a chance as a unit to do this. And you have to remember these kids are 16, 17 years old and not in the NFL. So it's all new to them as well. So Bridgewater Raynham breaks to huddle. Let's see if they just run up and kick it. They will. This time it's a high pooch kick, and the Indians catch it and fall right down. I think that was Donovan Burgo. Actually, Jaden Medeiros, I'm sorry.
This one went high in the air, and this one had less of a chance than the last couple of onside kicks, and this time the Indians cover it.
And on that one, it'll be a teaching moment, I'm sure. You could fair catch that ball. Correct?
Yes.
You can.
Do you hear a crackling sound in your headset?
I do.
Jackson Hart at quarterback for the Indians.
Just asking.
Here's Hart, and Hart is slammed back for a 6-7 yard loss.
All right, we've been told that if you put a cell phone near our headset, where the foundation of the headset is plugged into, that could potentially lead to the crackling sound. But we didn't have that. I didn't see any cell phones on there.
I didn't see any either. But
Oh, wait a minute. I see the guilty party.
I see Jeff Miller Martin.
But he didn't know that was going to happen.
He's raising his hands. It's not the first time he's put his hands over his headphone, I'm told, from the Dartmouth Police Department. I've seen that before.
Bridgewater Raynham timeout there with 3:26 to go. A little bit of everything tonight. 5-yard touchdown run by Ray Gramlich. 13-yard touchdown run by Jason Hart. 8-yard touchdown pass to Ray Gramlich. 52-yard interception return by Hart. And that encompasses the 5 touchdowns that the Dartmouth Indians have put together today.
2nd and 17 for the Indians.
Second down and very long to go, and
Gramlich on the carry.
the Indians go nowhere on that one.
Marcus Andrews also.
Marcus Andrews.
Yes, with a touchdown reception.
He was the ball carrier there, and he lost a yard. So now the Indians are looking at third down and about 20 as Bridgewater Raynham looking to get the ball back. They've had the momentum here in the last 5 minutes as the Indians come to the sideline. Now let's see what we can get. Oh, here's a good one for you.
That's a long one.
Okay, I'll read a little bit, then you can come on. The Dartmouth High School Hall of Fame Committee is looking for nominations of former players, coaches, teams, supporters, contributors, broadcasters, in order to maintain the integrity of the Hall of Fame, which I'm in it, so we'll just leave that alone. Nominees must exemplify the highest and standards of sportsmanship, ethical conduct, and moral character.
All candidates, and I mean all candidates, will be judged on their significant and or long-term contributions to athletic endeavors. In addition, as much as possible, acknowledged leadership in his or her chosen field or community, state, and national presence will be considered. Candidates may be nominated as a player, a coach, and contributors by anyone. Candidates may not nominate themselves. For more information, visit biggreensports.org and click on the Hall of Fame banner. Once again, that's biggreensports.org.
I don't make light of the Hall of Fame. I make light of myself.
Well, it does say that
proudly was inducted in 2018 with great pride. Working here at DCTV for a number of years. It's quite an honor, and Mike Shea's doing a great job. His Hart's going to throw this, and it's going to be nearly picked off and nearly caught. Whoa, that was very dangerous as Lamar Lee had it in his hands and went right through them.
Well, let's take a look at this one again, and you'll see Jackson Hart scrambling to his right and manages to get a lot on the ball, but goes right through the hands of the cornerback and bounces out of the hands of, was that Nunes Medeiros?
It was. Yep.
Yeah, Jaden Nunes Medeiros. So an incomplete pass, and it's 4th down.
And a lot of time left. Martin to boot it away.
Owen King back deep.
King back deep to receive. High, very short kick. And it takes a Bridgewater Raynham bounce. That kick netted 13 yards, Paul, and Bridgewater Raynham with the momentum here in the 4th will have it in good field position with just over 3 to go.
Well, they go back, I don't know, maybe 1 quarter. It felt like the game was over, but there was a lot of time on the clock, and Bridgewater Raynham continued to grind it out. They recovered another onside kick, went in and scored a touchdown, and now they have another opportunity here after they scored another touchdown to really, really get back into the game. I mean, it's a 2-score game, 35-22, 13-point advantage here for Dartmouth, but hey, with 3:05 on the clock, well, I mean, Dartmouth's still in the driver's seat, but it's not over yet.
And they get the speedy Swenson in there now at the running back spot. They've alternated 3 or 4 backs all night long. Here's King, going to throw it long, deep. No one out there but Jackson Hart of the Indians.
Incomplete. Marcus Andrew and
Give Bridgewater Raynham credit, Paul.
Jackson Hart on the coverage.
Well, it looked like Yeah, it looked like William Porter was the closest one there, but he wasn't really anywhere near the ball. But, yeah, Bridgewater Raynham was thinking, you know what? We're down by 13 now. We're kind of back in the game. We're going to go out throwing right in first down. We're not going to wait around. Maybe make something happen.
Well, they've done a lot here in the fourth quarter. And as I noted earlier, special teams. You'll look back on this game, and special teams have played a major role in this game, or lack thereof. Share a coaching point for Dartmouth High this week. And it's the big fella in there, Abasi, the ball carrier. He cracks it down to about the 38-yard line. Third down and 4 to go. Martin on the stop. 2:44 to play in the ball game.
King to throw.
Here's King. King looks. He's going to keep it. He's down the sidelines. Got himself a first down. Stops the clock, more importantly, Paul.
Nice job there by Owen King, the junior playing quarterback tonight. Looked like he was going to throw, but then saw that he had enough room. He kind of pump faked to freeze the defenders a little bit, and once he knew that he was in first down territory, went out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:33 to go.
Wasn't long ago we were looking for the running the clock rule. It was a 28-point lead for the Indians at that point. Bridgewater Raynham crawling back slowly in this one. King at the quarterback spot, and here he is.
King to throw.
Throws it. He's got a man who's through his hands, and he was open. Down there inside the 5-yard line. And that was Dylan Reed. Had a step on the Indian defender.
Well, let's take a look at this again, and look at this ball, a well-thrown ball. And look at that, just through the fingertips of the intended receiver. And wow, that was very, very close as Dylan Reed, the sophomore, just not able to bring that in. And wow, what a big play that would have been had Bridgewater Raynham been able to pull that off.
2nd and 10. Clock stop at just 2:28 to play. Indian fans sitting on their hands right now, wondering what's going on here. Here comes the rush, and King just ditches it. Bring up third down.
Porter is incomplete.
Tell you, Owen King being called upon to be quarterback here, along with Caleb Tribb, but Owen King is looking a little more comfortable the way he drops back into that pocket and lets these balls rip. A lot of these balls are tight spirals deep down the field. I mean, the accuracy maybe a little bit, to be worked on, but as far as being able to throw tight spirals down the field, 20, 30 yards down the field, he's able to do it.
Well, he gets the call from Coach Pacheco. Or as if you're watching a national game, Pacheco.
Right. Why is that?
I don't know, but I know it's 3rd down and 10.
We're right.
And a big play for the Trojans. King thought about it, still thinking about it, and throws up a floater like a fair catch, and it falls incomplete. So in 1 minute, he fires one, rifles one for 35 yards, nearly caught inside the Indian 5, and the next one, it's a floater, and had a chance to be intercepted.
Yeah, it's easy to say in retrospect that he probably should have thrown that out of bounds and dumped that ball because, yes, it was just a floater right in the middle of the defensive back area of Dartmouth. And, it was actually close to one of the Bridgewater Raynham receivers, but he easily could have been intercepted as well. As we take a look at it again, you'll see he got in trouble, and then he just kind of lofted it up there at the last second.
Does that remind you of a pro quarterback that throws across his body?
I flew all the way to Dallas to see it.
Here's King looking for 6. Got a man out there, but the Indians are back there. Jackson Hart. Who else?
King's pass intended for Porter is incomplete. Jackson Hart on the coverage.
And Jackson is holding his right wrist.
That is not good.
Might be his shoulder as he tries to stretch it out here on the near side. We'll look on at the replay. He's moving it pretty good. You can see he landed on that shoulder, and he's trying to loosen it up.
Aiden Gendron in at quarterback for
So
the Indians.
Gendron comes in. Bridgewater Raynham with 1 timeout left. This is a freshman they're counting on for future years. They say he's really got great potential. So does this guy.
Gremlick on the
That's
carry.
Gremlick. And Gremlick's got a first down. He's out across the 40 to the 45-yard line.
Lawton and Alexandria
Alexandra
tackle.
got him in the secondary, but not before Ray picked up a first down.
44-yard line of the Indians.
There's a handoff to Gremlick. He's got a touchdown tonight, rushing, and a touchdown reception to his credit. See Aiden Gendron in there, only a freshman.
Well, Bridgewater Raynham, they only have 1 timeout, so the Indians actually could go in victory formation now that this is a first down play. Here's Gendron, the freshman. He bulldozes his way out to midfield on a gain of 5.
To the 49-yard line of the Trojans. Check that midfield.
So a victory that's in excess of 14 points
Second and 4
gives them
for the Indians.
more in terms of the rankings for the playoffs. So see the Indians trying to come down the field here, leading by 13. If you're wondering why, that may be why.
So Gendron sets him up. 35 ticks left on the stadium clock. Puts the man in motion. He's going to keep it himself and
Gendron on the carry.
not go very far as he's
Met by a host of Trojans.
tackled in the backfield. And I think the Indians will just snap it and get out of here with a win that's will be very gratifying to them. But I think Coach White may have to talk to his team and say we can't afford too many fourth quarters like this once we get into the playoffs. I think we have to have a little bit more focus. But he'll take it as the stadium clock runs out. And the Indians
The final score, your Diamond
come away with a victory, their 7th consecutive win by a score of 35-22 over Bridgewater Raynham.
Well, nice win here for the Dartmouth Indians. They managed to get on the scoreboard a number of different ways. A 5-yard touchdown run by Ray Gremlick, his 10th touchdown of the season. That was followed by a 13-yard touchdown run by Jackson Hart, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Then there was 8-yard touchdown pass to Ray Gremlick, his first reception of the season. Then there was a 52-yard interception return by Jackson Hart on defense, which was really a nice play as he intercepted it and ran it right down the right sideline. And then the final score for Dartmouth was a 45-yard touchdown pass, little screen over the middle to the speedster Marcus Andrews, his 8th touchdown of the year, first touchdown reception, and the Indians got that 35-7 lead, but then had to hang on for a 35-22 victory as things got a little dicey here in the fourth quarter.
They most certainly did. The Indians coming into this one undefeated. That stays intact. I'm not so sure how this MIAA playoff system works. Coming into the game, ranked 7th. I'm sure victory helps. I'm sure you don't slide down in the rankings, but you had noted earlier in the broadcast, you don't want to slip too far down because you may not get that home field advantage. And going independent, which we did this year, you know, we kind of played more of the local teams, the Stangs, the old Rochesters, so on and so forth. Kept New Bedford, kept Durfee, but both were down here, so I'm sure that didn't help. But next week they're at New Bedford, a very talented New Bedford team. They just have a hard time putting wins in the column.
Right, and hopefully the Indians can go over to Walsh Field and come up with a victory. You know, New Bedford did beat this Bridgewater Raynham team. It was a 7-0 win for New Bedford, a lot different kind of a game and much closer than this one here tonight. But still, Bridgewater Raynham, you know, they've got more injuries and they managed to not die. They fought right till the end and they came back in the fourth quarter and made it interesting. before the Indians finally pulled away 35-22. So let's see if the Indians can go into Walsh Field, get that victory, get to the 8-0 record that they're hoping for when the playoffs pick up in week number 9.
So that'll wrap it up here from the stadium. The Indians remain undefeated with a 35-22 win over the Trojans from Bridgewater Raynham High School. For my sidekick, Paul Santos, and everyone involved in this broadcast, I'm Jim Thompson. Good night, everybody.